Pushing this pipe, D12 a demon, I'm running these lights. I can't believe that she fit in them tights. Buying it once, or buying it twice. Swiping this card, don't ask for the price. Texting and read, she say I'm her type. I got a check, but I'm earning my stripes. Cheating no pussy like that shit advice. Baby, you know I'm not good at advice. Why would I go if I don't get advice? Taking these chances, rolling the dice. Thought it from nothing, I'm hitting these heights. All because what I be spit on these bikes. Beat a few things inside of my Sprite. Been out of sleep, you in my device. Thought I could trust you with my life. Can't even trust you in the night. If you talk to me, baby, then talk to me nice. You talk to me, baby, then talk to me. Talk to me, baby, then talk to me. Talk to me, baby, then talk to me nice. You talk to me, baby. You talk to me, baby. You talk to me, baby, then talk to me nice. You talk to me, baby, talk to me, baby. You talk to me, baby, then talk to me nice. If you talk to me, baby, then come where I stay. Be in the Dallas, we back in LA. Making this money and stay out the way. Take when you text me, saying okay. Taking this shit out day by day. Nobody dunk it, I'm shooting a J. Backing up all the things that you say. You on your knees for me, yeah. Funny because I know you don't pray. Say that you down, it's up for the bake. Said I'm on one, so you making me wait. Baby, you know that's the shit that I hate. Pull up on you, I'm in a C8. Holding my own, I'm making shit shake. Shit on my shoulders, I'm lifting this weight. I wanna come on, I grip on your cake. Loading, I'm down, I do what it takes. Bitch on that nigga, I'm not my mistakes. I'm in the cut and I'm slipping away. Niggas I know, they moving real fake. Funny how love can turn into hate. Funny how love can turn you away. Funny how love can turn you away. Funny how love can turn into hate. Funny how love. Funny how love can turn you away. Funny how love can turn you into hate. Funny how love. Funny how love can turn you away. Funny how love. They talk to me, baby, then talk to me nice. You talk to me, baby. Talk to me, baby. If you talk to me, baby, then talk to me nice. Talk to me, baby, then talk to me nice. Talk to me, baby. Talk to me, baby. Get tired of me, baby, then talk to me nice. Talk to me, baby. Talk to me, baby. If you talk to me, baby, then talk to me nice. Talk to me, baby. Talk to me, baby. For alcohol. Get tired of me, baby, then talk to me nice. Tired of me. Tired of me.
Yeah, we done came from the bottom, mad that we up, but I don't hear him talking. Started with knowledge inside of my noggin. We took a dream and then we started blogging. Put my city on the map now. I'ma say how it is and now I'm back down. On the road to 100K, we finna act out. We gon' show them that we not just in the background. We the main event, we the main show. We the one that people always gon' pay for. FYF, we the best, no debate though. Number one sports channel, every angle. I'ma show them all how we ride. Best sports talk show, we not like them guys. We playing it safe while they feather the lines. We pushing the narrative all the time. Like who to go in the game is not MJ. Kobe Bryant top 10, not what we say. Hakeem Olajuwon is very overrated. Keep it real if it ain't fact, we don't say it. Now it's stable, we won't be ignored.
It's facts over feelings, you talk about listery. Boys, you Scooby-Doo talking in mysteries. You is a puppet to ticket, that's misery. Said that you bitey bang, boy, know your history. It's facts over feelings, you talk about listery. Boys, you Scooby-Doo talking in mysteries. You is a puppet to ticket, that's misery. Said that you bitey bang, boy, know your history. All in your feelings, you gotta be kidding me. Beg for respect, but you only show jealousy. Wanted some status, but you making enemies. Talk about bro workout like you burn calories. Calling a bait cause he come with the cavalry. Caught another L, rated, took another casualty. Now you on the 2, talking like you had a strategy.
Nah, that's just passion. We love the game. You already know what it is. FYF. You don't got tough skin. You might as well not even come on in. Talk to 'em. FYF, blow the whistle, man, we too official.
Better check the film, we not one of them. The greatest to ever ball above the rim. They wasn't with me shooting in the gym. Cut the small conversation, debate on major levels. This the playoffs, baby, bring that pressure, we never settle. Cross and spin, getting it in, I wanna win. That teamwork got us headed to the ship again. LeBron better than MJ, cut it out. Half these fans in the stands don't know what they talking about. Half-court jumpers, crowd going wild. FYF ranked #1, you better say it loud. Intellectual talk, but fuck your feelings. Elijah 1-2 overrated, Kobe still a realist. Top 10 all time, now how they cut the line. Magic Johnson, Draymond Green, one in the same kind. Fuck your feelings, fast break, stop and pull a J. He got how many rings, nothing else to say. With the team, live streaming, play by play. This the dream, full steam on the road to 100K. FYF, blow the whistle, man, we too official. Better check the film, we not one of them. The greatest to ever ball above the rim. They wasn't with me shooting in the gym. Cut the small conversation, debate on major levels. This the playoffs, baby, bring that pressure, we never settle. Cross and spin, getting it in, I wanna win. That teamwork got us headed to the ship again. Started small, then turned into big dogs. They treat me like the GM, I just make the call. No matter who my op is, I'ma stand tall. Then pull up to the game, fresh like I just left the mall. 100K, 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 check the score. We gon' bust the shot clock, fans running to the floor. All I hear is go this and go that. Man, your team suck, hang it up like a coke rack. I love the game, I admit it, I can't quit it. Step in front of me, man, your ankles gon' get the business. Been a legend like Moses Malone, way ahead of my time. This the greatest sports show ever, I just had to remind. FYF, FYF, blow the whistle, man, we too official. Better check the film, we not one of them. The greatest to ever ball above the rim. They wasn't with me shooting in the gym. Cut the small conversation, debate on major levels. This the playoffs, baby, bring that pressure, we never settle. Cross and spin, getting it in, I wanna win. That teamwork got us headed to the ship again.
So FYF Sports, man, it's Lamont, man. We back. Another show, man. Appreciate you guys being here, man. A lot of NBA stuff going on, man. It's a lot of NBA stuff going on. And we're going to be talking about all the NBA news of the week, all the NBA stories, all the NBA headlines. But we're going to be really talking about what we finally heard LeBron James come out and say today. Well, actually, not today. It was actually after they beat the Phoenix Suns. And we really don't hear LeBron come out and make direct statements directly towards the haters, the people that really, I think it was directed at the people that try to create narratives of slander just out of the woodwork, no matter what he does, right or wrong. All right, today we're going to be talking about a lot of different things with LeBron James. We're going to be talking about the comparisons, the expectations. We're going to be talking about perceptions, his popularity, how I feel like there's a lot of fans, like fans of Jordan and fans of Kobe, who I feel are just jealous of his perception and popularity. We're going to talk about his on and off the court behavior, the things that, okay, yes, that deserves criticism. But then there are other things like we discussed with Dreamers Pro, probably don't necessarily deserve any criticism whatsoever, but you do and you will find that those avenues and those lanes of characters or content creators who will just make up reasons to hate on the man. Salute to Hink, salute to Jay Steele. But look, we're going to also be dropping the link. Look, we're going to be dropping the link to bring you guys up pretty quickly here. So I'm just going to go through some things that I have kind of put together as to what led up to this. How did we get in a situation where the best player of at least this generation, if you don't want to say he's the best player of all time, he's at least the best player of this generation. How did we get to the point where the best player of this generation is constantly under the ire of fans who want to say he's underperforming, say he's not that great? You know, when you look through even just my comments from my last video, I'm looking through, people are saying, oh, he's really not that good. He just bullies his way to the rim. We're going to be talking about all that. We're going to also talk about market saturation and branding, right? When we talk about perception and popularity, I think the market saturation and branding go hand in hand with that. But again, it creates a level to me of jealousy, right? And then we're going to be talking about just shared criticism altogether. When we talk about just the moves that he's making on the court, when we talk about the moves, when he went to Miami to what? He went to Miami to be with a better organization, with a better team, with better players to ultimately win. As opposed to people looking to that move as if it was a move that was based on just playing at a higher level, playing at a more competitive level consistently. People turn that move into, oh, it was a weak move. He went and joined up with better players so he can win. And I get confused by that because in one sense, they're always questioning if these guys actually want to play to win. And then when these guys actually individually, separate from the team, go out and make moves that indicate they want to win by placing themselves with better organizations around better players, then people say they're cheating the system to try to win. I don't know how these players today can win or lose. And it almost sounds as if players today can only be considered winners if the owners and GMs finally wake up, put a team together for you. You happen to be on that team, and then you have to win with the team that owner and GM put together for you. And there's no other way around it. You can't go create your own narrative. You can't leave an organization that's basically showing a history of not wanting to go out and try to win as much as some of these players are wanting to win. We got Chris Turner. He says people say all he do is bully his way to the rim and score. This, and that's the thing right there. It's just like the people that generally say that, oddly enough, those are people that are generally Jordan fans, 90s fans, 80s fans, where they brag about a more physical brand of basketball, where they brag about how if you come through the lane in the 70s, 80s, or 90s, oh, you're going to be on the ground. But then when you see a physical player by the likes of LeBron James, then you hear complaining, oh, he's being too physical. I don't know how he can win in some of these cases. But see, there's a lot of people, a lot of the people that stand on these arguments. That I'm dropping the link today because I want to get you guys up here. For all the people up here that were in my comments hating on LeBron, try to downplay everything he does. Those are the people that I want up here today. Jay Steele says, Jay Steve says KD went to a 73-19. And see, even in that same sense, I don't knock KD. See, I understand why he went to a 73-19. You want to be a part of a winning organization. It doesn't matter what they've done in the past before you got there. Their successes of the past is why you want to go there. It's been like this in every sport on every level of play. And I like to use college basketball as the best example. When kids are getting recruited going into college, they don't go pick Tulane. They don't go pick, there's some schools, because of their past track record of losing, that get eliminated out the equation. There's a reason why the most winningest schools generally get the best players. It's the reason why the most winningest coaches always get the best players. And there's a reason why they continue to get the best players. Like, or do we knock 5-star recruits? Oh, you went to Kentucky, man. That was a weak move. They already got 3 5-star recruits. They already got 4 All-Americans on the roster. That was a weak move. We don't never use this narrative, and we've never used that narrative in no other sport. And this narrative has never been created until LeBron James came around. Until LeBron James woke up, looked around in Cleveland, and said, oh, you guys are just trying to make money off me. You guys ain't really trying to win. You guys want me here for the deep playoff runs, but you guys are never going to be willing to go deep into the luxury tax to go get legitimate players that's going to keep us consistent. LeBron is in his ultimate prime. They basically were saying in Cleveland, well, he's good enough himself to get us to the Eastern Conference Finals or maybe even the finals if he gets lucky. Dan Gilbert is literally watching the money and millions of dollars flow in. This is why when he left, they said Cleveland, just the businesses lost over $100 million. All those businesses helping generate money for Dan Gilbert, all that was lost. Y'all want to know why Dan Gilbert was so mad when LeBron James left? It wasn't because he was upset that LeBron James chose another team. He was upset that when LeBron walked out the door, so did the dollars and the cents. That's why he was upset that LeBron James left. And it can't nobody tell you otherwise. These are billionaires we talking about. This is not, Dan Gilbert was not Steve Ballmer on the court like a fanatic fan cheering on his team. That was not Dan Gilbert. He was a businessman and he lost money. He was pissed off that he lost money. Name another time when a free agent left that you saw an owner react the way he did. It was all about money. LeBron James made a move that was all about himself in basketball. And a lot of the fans, a lot of the haters chose to side with Dan Gilbert and not necessarily side with LeBron in that particular sense. Oh, we got Dreamers Pro here again. Salute. Oh, no, it's not Dreamers Pro. That's just rebranding here with the Dreamers Pro logo. Salute, though, rebranding. We got Renegade. Oh, also salute to Renegade, man. Came through, supported in the Cash App. We got to add you to that list of top donors, man. I'm gonna be dropping this list here in about 1 minute. I'm gonna be dropping the link, man, to allow you guys to come up and cook on some of these topics, man. I want to allow you because, and this is what I'm seeing, Hink, in the basement. See, this is what happens. The haters love to use LeBron, especially the haters that are content creators. They'll use LeBron for the money. They'll use LeBron to push the hateful narrative that caters to that fan base, and they'll make money off of them in that sense. And then when they see it's highly profitable to go that route, then you see what starts to happen is you see them with a thirst for seeking the hate for LeBron. And then they get so desperate, then they start to make up narratives. This is why you have the steroid allegations. This is why you have the slander around LeBron James wanting to see his son back on the basketball court at USC. So then you just start seeing them take things that are completely off the court and then try to make them relevant as if it actually matters with what happens between the lines. And then I want you guys to come in. I want y'all to let me know what you thought about LeBron James's actual statement. I'm going to play that video one time here before I drop the link. And I want you guys to I want you guys to listen to it. I want you guys to tell me what you thought about his statement after the Phoenix Suns win again. And this is what I also said. I think I was speaking with Big Heart on his channel. I told Big Heart, I said, that was a game that Laker fans didn't even think they were going to win. You know, and I think when we look at the LeBron James hate, I think about 20 to 30% of that I blame strictly on Laker fans. I blame it on the Laker fans because the Laker fans, what are they doing? How do they play into this? The Laker fans are putting out extremely unrealistic expectations for this team. We got George. He says, Lamont, why you keep blocking me? George, I've never blocked you. You're not blocked. If you were blocked, I wouldn't be able to see your message. You're not blocked. I don't know why you say that. Salute to Myron, man. Appreciate you pulling up, man. Haven't seen you here in a minute, man. He says Jordan had 4 7-footers the best three-point snipers, Hodges, Kerr, Paxson, Phil Jackson, Scottie Pippen, Dennis Rodman, Ron Harper, and the officials. Facts. But one thing you will never hear them say is nobody will say that Jordan had a super team because fans weren't running around trying to create narratives to denigrate the great team that the Chicago Bulls were. People just saw the Chicago Bulls as a great team. They didn't necessarily care how the team got put together. They just knew that the Bulls organization put together a great team. And remember, this Bulls team primarily got put together through the draft. They had a ton of top 10 draft picks. So there was a lot of losing also going on to really build that. Right? When you talk about Stacey King, top 10 pick, Scottie Pippen, Horace Grant, Brad Sellers, who they actually traded Brad Sellers, but Brad Sellers was another one of those guys, top 10 pick. So when you look at all of the draft capital that they used to shape this team, whether it was via trade or whether keeping it on the roster, they ultimately they really were able to shape that team right before the expansion really drained a lot of other teams. They primarily did it due to a lot of losing from the Bulls. A lot of losing that Jordan had to go through. And Jordan, fans allowed Jordan to progress through that losing. We know you're a young player. We know what you do is heavily reliant on the team building around you. So early in his career, Jordan was primarily judged on his individual talent. He could score 63 against the Boston Celtics, and that 63 is appreciated, win or lose. He could win Defensive Player of the Year and MVP and not be on a very good team. Because the fans truly they understood. They understood, man. The fans understood that, look, it takes more than just one man to win. We got Real Takes Over Face Debates. He says, it's the social media era, Lamont. He said, had a lot to do with it. Yes, that does have a lot to do with it because social media has given a lot of people mics to voice their own opinion. And then it gives more content creators mics. People that want to be a part of the news cycle can now create platforms and be their own media outlet. And so those media outlets can create narratives. It's just like we saw with Dreamers Pro. And whether he wants to believe it or not, he's now become a news outlet. So anything that he pumps and pushes out there is a part of the news cycle. The things that he types about LeBron James, the allegations that he makes, the claims that he makes, when you type it in Google, these things are now searchable under Google. You become a part of the news cycle. So Mingo Jester is one of those people that blames the LeBron James fans. See, Mingo Jester, I think when y'all try to run around and blame the fans, that's just y'all desperately seeking an excuse to validate your hate. You got to understand that fans of players are all fanatical. Right? Fans of players are all fanatics. Kobe fans, fanatical. New York Knicks fans, fanatical. Let New York Knicks fans tell it. They're going to win the championship every year. They got a shot to win it every single year. Fanatics. So all of a sudden, out of all the fan bases throughout sports history of players, it's the LeBron James fans that pissed you off, not the Jordan fans, not the Kobe fans, not the Magic Johnson fans or the Laker fan base, not the New York Knicks fans or the New York Knicks fan base, not any of these fan bases. It just all of a sudden is the LeBron fan base. They pop up and they're the ones that causing all the problems. Don't make no sense. Fans haven't changed. Fans are going to do what fans do. The fact that y'all blame fans tells even more so confirms to me that a lot of y'all takes is revolved around just pure hate. Because y'all can't even produce a legitimate excuse for some of the narratives y'all push other than blaming fans. What do fans have to do with LeBron James? I hate Denver Nuggets fans. I can't stand Jokic. Like that, it's even hard to compute that in your head. So if a whole bunch of Denver Nuggets fans came in here and start gassing up Jokic, are you all of a sudden gonna stop liking Jokic? As crazy as the Clipper fans are, as delusional as they might be, do y'all hate Paul George now? That's how I know y'all make that up. Y'all blame, and then when we say, okay, who are you talking about specifically? What hater? Like what LeBron James fans are you talking about specifically? Can you name a name? Can you give me an example? Then when I get to asking that, it's just all y'all. It's just then you can't give me no examples. You can't give me no names. It's just a whole bunch of generalities. It almost kind of sounds like you just make it up on the fly. Facts, Nicholas Brown. Y'all get them likes up. Hitman X says, I do hate Nuggets fans, though. Biggest front runners in the league. And, you know, Nuggets fans are Nuggets fans, Hitman X. It's just their time to be on top right now. Just like this is one aspect you got to accept, Hitman X. When the Phoenix Suns had their run and they got to the finals, there was a lot of people that hopped on the Phoenix Suns bandwagon and was gaslighting the Phoenix Suns. When it's your time, it's your time. You know, when you put together that right team, when you have the best player in the league, it's just going to be your time to shine. And you're going to gain a lot of fans, just like the Lakers gained a lot of fans when LeBron James came over. It just, when it's your time, it's your time. It don't last forever. I mean, the Denver Nuggets already lost Jamal Murray. He's dealing with a hamstring injury. He's not going to be back for a while. I told everybody I just don't see them staying healthy for another full year to even be lucky enough to make another run. Their time is probably going to be over very soon. But right now, the Denver Nuggets on top, they're going to do their talking. That's how fans are. It don't make me, I don't turn what the fans say or do into hate for a particular player. I mean, when it's all said and done, if Jokic continue, I would expect for Denver Nugget fans to make a case for Jokic to be top 10 when he retires. When Jokic retires, I would expect for the Denver Nugget fans to be pushing for him to be a top 3 center of all time. That's what they're supposed to do. He says Oubre broken ribs. Yeah, man, we heard about that accident with Oubre, man. That was messed up right there. That was crazy. Golden State's chances are solely based on health. If they can stay healthy, I think they'll need to add one more piece, some type of size. But they, you know, I think there's about 6 teams in the West that can get to the finals. And it's primarily going to be based on being healthy at the right time. If the Lakers aren't healthy going into the playoffs, they won't win it. If they are, they can make another run just like they did last year. I think the Phoenix Suns can make a run if they're healthy. Does it look like they'll be healthy? No. Let me get this link together. I'm going to let y'all come up here and cook on this. We cooking on LeBron James, man. We cooking on the hateful narratives. Y'all saw him come out and he defended Cam Reddish. A lot of people, even in this stream when we were talking, they were saying that LeBron James should have took the last shot. We replayed the last shot. We saw that he really didn't have an angle to shoot it. He made the basketball play. He hit the open man. The open man did not make the shot. A lot of people criticize LeBron James. They want LeBron James to do and mirror everything that Kobe and Jordan did. Take difficult, highly contested shots, whether you're double or triple teamed. You always take that shot whether it's the right basketball player or whether it's the wrong. That's what fans are asking of LeBron. Sounds kind of delusional, but that's what they're asking of LeBron. All right, y'all. Link is in the chat, man. I'm gonna get y'all to pull up here, man. Let's get y'all thoughts on this, man. Salute to Sammy in the chat, man. Salute to Rundown Productions, man. I see you guys in there rebranding. Appreciate you pulling up, man. We got to talk about it. Like I said, I don't know how long we're gonna be live today. I don't want it to carry on. Like I said, this shouldn't be a topic. We should be able to get to the bottom of this very quickly. We should be able to address this very quickly. Appreciate you guys pulling up, man. And then we can also, once we get through this topic, I want to get y'all thoughts on the Dreamers Pro, man. So it's for the people that weren't able to chime in and give their thoughts on the Dreamers Pro live stream. If you guys haven't checked out that stream, make sure you go check it out. Give your thoughts on Dreamers Pro. Obviously, that was a really good live stream, and it was really good because Dreamers Pro generally doesn't click links and pull up to panels. So to see him actually click the link and pull up, man, to finally address some of the things we were talking about, kudos to him. But again, it did expose the element of the LeBron James haters, right? Even when we talk about this topic right now, even Dreamers Pro struggled to find legitimate reasons as to why he was pushing LeBron James hate. When I asked him, why are you propagating this story of LeBron didn't go to D Wade's Hall of Fame induction? Like, what's the end goal? Are you trying to tell us that there's a rift in their relationship? Oh, I'm not trying to do that. Well, if you have no, why are you trying to do it other than just regurgitating the information that's slanderous towards LeBron? When you say he didn't post anything about Bill Russell dying, what's the end goal? What are you trying to tell us there? Are you trying to tell us there was something going on with LeBron and Bill Russell? Or are you just trying to really throw a multitude of negative information out there about LeBron and then just say this is him with a track record? Remember, Dreamers Pro kept saying this is his track record. But you got to put context to all those situations. Brian and D Wade are best friends. They have no rift. Bill Russell and LeBron James seem to be fine, right? He changed his number for Bill Russell. There's no rift. Then you have the allegations of him not going to Kobe's memorial, which Dreamers Pro actually said was the funeral, which was also factually incorrect. There's problems all over the place here. And then one of the biggest problems is, and that's when I pull people up, I want them to explain the why to all this. I don't know if they can though, man. Let's bring everybody up. Salute to Go News, DJ Gemini, SB, rebranded, Mingo Jester. Salute y'all. Appreciate y'all pulling up, man.
That was good. Dreaming gang, it on bang.
What's up, Mark?
What up?
Salute.
Lamont, what's going on, bro?
Hey, hold on before y'all go. Hey, Lamont, do I have an echo? I didn't know if I had it.
Nah, you don't have one. I know there's like a glitch with StreamYard right now.
Yeah, with Androids, if you got an Android, you have to have headphones.
You ain't got an echo. You still sound like a female, but you don't got an echo though.
Dang. All right. Okay.
I'll let you have that. I ain't even gonna go there with you. I'll let you have that. I'm gonna let you have it. I ain't gonna go there.
The topic at hand, though. First thing first, though, Lamont, I do like no matter how you like the chat was feeling about doing. At least he pulled up because a lot of people don't pull up at all. Yeah. So that was one thing. I was actually shocked that he pulled up to defend himself. But it's like I was saying, that it's just this era of generation where nobody has time to develop. It's in any sport. Like now in boxing, if you ain't undefeated, you trash. Because like the Mayweather thing. Now you look at this era, Wemby going through it now. Wemby better be good. People want him to score 25 a game. The Spurs better be good in the next 2-3 years. It's just this generation. Even when it comes to podcasting, like if you don't make shorts or clips of your podcast, people probably not checking for it because everything is microwave and everybody want it now, or everybody want the short version of everything. This just the generation. Michael was lucky enough to where he actually did go through these things, but it was written in the paper. So it was written in the paper where he kind of talked about him in the early 80s and 90s, but basketball was still growing. Basketball didn't become this global thing till Mike did what he did in the 90s. But by the time you seen Mike in the 90s, he was already globalized as like the GOAT and one of the best players there. Imagine if basketball, while LeBron was going through his first stint at Cleveland, it was like iffy, and then LeBron just globalized it when he went to Miami. Now, all you really pay attention to is LeBron in Miami, the best version of him. You think LeBron was Black Jesus like how they did Jordan. So I just think compared to the era, the LeBron is not clutch factor. That's BS. It's been a BS narrative. I think because LeBron changed his game when he went to Miami, but the version that they wanted LeBron, the mama mentality, shoot the shots, go back and watch that first run of LeBron in Cleveland. He literally did all of that. He played like that Jordan, Kobe, I'm going to take all the shots, I'm going to carry us and do what I got to do. He probably passed a little bit more because he had that skill set in his game, but that mindset that they wanted LeBron to have, I'm shooting over 2-3 people and I'm going to win the game. He did that before. He seen it didn't work. He went to Miami, he had to change his game because he had other stars and he grew and developed more. It be tit for tat with it because also too it's a double-edged sword because then LeBron would do be haters, but then also LeBron has defenders where you can't. He's too big for criticism sometimes too. So if you do say something about it that could be truthful, you be on the hate side. But it just comes with that when you that great of a guy and great of a player.
That's what's up, man. Mingle Jester, man. What you got on this, man? Because you blame the fans, man. Why you blame the fans, Mingle Jester?
Fuck you blaming me for?
Mingle Jester on mute, man. Hopefully he's not having too many audio issues.
That's the Android.
Hold on, we got Alex M. Alex M. I saw you in the comments a lot, man. Alex M actually was one of the very few that felt Dreamers Pro actually ethered everybody over here. He was in the comments, man. He was really standing up for Dreamers Pro, man. He said Dreamers Pro came over here and cooked. And he was really, really getting on LeBron James. Alex M, man, you should probably look, man.
Hey, Alex, come up here, bro. I'm
following the footsteps of Dreamers Pro, man. Just hit the link, man. I want to hear from you, man. I
was confused. I was like, why does it matter if this dude did that on his personal life? If he went to somewhere, see a friend, like, how can you tell another man how to praise or how to mourn? That's weird. Like, if you could judge by basketball, it's a game. That's understandable. When it gets to the point of you criticizing somebody for how he pray, nobody can tell me how I can praise you, Lamont, or support you, bro. Can't nobody. Hey, SB wasn't here for this stream, or SB wasn't here, but you know I'm still gonna support you. That's weird to me. Like,
nah, I ain't gonna lie. SB, I didn't see you here when he had his 100K show though. Like, I'm gonna be real. And this is Brandon with.
I have a life with two. I have two. You know
kids, Charles Sebastian. I
have 2 kids in life, bro.
I'm gonna tell you what really happened. Yeah. You really don't like Lamont. You didn't show up.
Damn.
I feel like hold on, Dreamers Pro gang, nigga.
Hold on. Rebrandon. We do got. Look, we didn't get.
Somebody else?
Look, we didn't get Alex, but we did get Pootie though. Pootie pulled up. He changed his logo.
We got Kane on this bitch, and he changed his profile.
He changed his profile. He took off. He took your advice. Somebody on the live stream said change your profile, but
okay.
That was not the case.
Gang took off the red shorts. Gang took off the red shorts with the boots with the furs. All right, what's good, gang?
Whatever. What's up? Now, as far as what I think about this, listen, I'm gonna give my man LeBron credit. He did, pass it to Cam Reddish. And, hey, he hit the shot. It is what it is. But my thing is this: can you forever depend on Cam Reddish to hit that shot? That's all I'm saying.
I can't wait to get my take.
No.
But do you get that he was like actually making the right? Like, I've never seen a player get knocked for making the right play. Like, you niggas will tell us that a person is supposed to shoot over 5 people every time instead of making the right play. Let me ask you: if you playing ball with some niggas, right, and you're wide open, but the best player who's clearly on the court is getting triple teamed, you want him to shoot the ball, or you want him to pass you the ball when you wide open?
He could pass it to me, but if I'm shooting like shit, I don't expect that pass.
Bro, oh my god, you niggas got mad that Ray Allen got a shot. So it's like, which is it, guys?
Ain't nobody getting mad about that.
Yeah, it was some people.
I expect the best player to take that shot.
Yeah.
Wait.
Honestly, about LeBron.
The shot was 2 different scenarios.
Hey, hold on, one mic, I'm gonna get mad, for real. Like I said though, So you would rather a nigga shoot over 4 people when you're wide open? That tells me a lot about you.
45 to 50%, then yeah.
That tells me a lot about you, though. Like, if you rather another man take a shot with 4 people in his face than you sitting there wide open in the corner. So y'all tell us that LeBron's scared of the free throw line, but you niggas scared to shoot open threes?
A lot of people should be. A lot of people in the NBA should be scared to shoot open threes because they can't make them.
Right.
They're scared to shoot open layups.
That's all I'm saying.
But if you be honest, LeBron has been playing this way since he started playing basketball. It's not like something he just picked up coming into the NBA. This is how he was programmed with playing basketball.
Now, he used to pull his first run in Cleveland. He was on demon time his first run in Cleveland.
But he had to force a lot of that. He had to force a lot of that. When you look at the way he honestly plays, especially if you followed him through his high school years, this is the way he played. Better decision making. He doesn't play the game to actually stat pad like a lot of people think he does. He actually plays the game for better decisions.
But the 2-3 situation was 2 different situations. One was the game winning shot, and one was like a clutch shot, like the shot counting down. You know what I'm saying? But that was early in the game. But at the end of the day, he still made a good pass. You can't deny that. Now, if you want to say, I wouldn't say I want you to shoot up before people make the pass. Maybe like LeBron just got to find a way to get open. That's if you say that, I don't have a problem with you saying that. But if you say like I shoot over 4 people or make the open pass, bro, make the open pass.
Well, also if you look at it for these last 2 seasons, I'm counting this season and last season, he hasn't really gotten the calls at the rim that is actually clear fouls and justified calls. He has not got them in the paint. So even when he went to the paint this time, actually that shot would have been blocked if he would have actually went to lay it up. If you actually watch the play, the defense was superb. I will give them that. So you saying?
See, my thing about LeBron is though. Hold on. My thing about LeBron is though.
I didn't say.
I get that, but my thing about LeBron is though. It's kind of hard. My thing about LeBron is though. It's kind of hard for the refs to call for LeBron when he played the style of basketball that he plays with the very physical style that he played. It's hard, bro. When somebody
a foul is a foul for them.
It's kind of hard to call when you're the one creating contact. It's kind of hard to call the foul on that. When you're the one to create the contact, you see what I'm saying? It's kind of hard to call.
I'm gonna need you to calm down. I'm gonna need you to calm down. But I got a question. I got a question for you, right?
But what I'm saying is,
hold on. Let him finish. Let him finish.
I wasn't finished yet. But see, what I'm saying is, that's what I'm saying. See, the refs, I think the refs be confused on what's a foul and what's not when it comes to LeBron because his style of play. That's all I was saying.
No, it's because he's so strong, Mingo.
Hold on, Mingo. So are you saying so when we go to the 80s and the 90s averaged more fouls per game than today? Y'all say it was a physical game. Why did they not struggle to call fouls then?
It's because Lamont, even Shaq said it before. It's like if LeBron played basketball, he'd be at the line all day. But who finna watch LeBron shoot 30 free throws a game? And they play a factor of that. So sometimes the refs miss.
Are you saying the refs are biased? The refs are biased?
Even Shaquille O'Neal even said when Shaquille O'Neal complained this when David
Shaq didn't get a lot of calls.
Shaq said he really went to the office and said, "Why am I not getting no foul calls?" And he said David Stern literally told him in his face, "Nobody's gonna want to watch you just shoot 30 free throws a game, Shaq." And that's the truth about it. Yeah, and you want to call it bias or not, they not going. It's still a business and entertainment when it comes to it, because they're not going to let somebody shoot 30 free throws every night. Because how LeBron play, yes, he get fouls a lot. Yes, 100%. Can't nobody.
And I understand. I'm with you 100% on that. But what I'm saying is if somebody's driving to the basket, how are they getting less foul calls than people shooting jump shots? That's my only gripe.
Yeah. You've seen niggas pump faking and jumping 2 niggas and get called.
I think you just noticed the shooting ones more, like the shoot, because they just so blameless.
No, I mean, no. The people that's getting them foul getting or jump shooters, the ones that's getting the most calls or jump shooters.
LeBron's free throws since he was in Miami. They've been going down every season since he's been in Miami for the
But
most
LeBron will
part.
go to the rim the same too, though.
And so when he gets contact, because you're so strong and you go into the rim, I personally think that because he's so strong, the same effect of a player like an Austin Reeves that goes flying off the same type of contact. LeBron withstands the contact, finishes through the contact, and it don't look so crazy compared to other players. And so they're probably not calling it the same.
Do you tell me?
That's what I was trying to. That's what I was saying.
Do y'all know off the top of the head? If not, somebody look it up. Tell me a primary jump shooter player that shoot more free throws than a guy who attacked the rim like LeBron or maybe
probably James Harden.
It ain't many. It ain't many.
Was James Harden maybe Trae
James
Young?
Harden not a primary shooter though.
Trae Young is a good example. He don't go to the rim more than LeBron James.
I'm pretty sure the one leading in free throw attempts is a jump shooter. Like if whoever's leading in free throw attempts,
it might be Luka. I wouldn't be surprised if it's Luka. Let me see.
Somebody look that up.
Austin Reeves garbage, by the way. I meant to say Austin Reeves garbage, by the way.
I don't think he's garbage, but
Lamar,
he's garbage. Without those free throws, he's nothing of a player. Without all those free throws, he's nothing.
He ain't been getting his free throws.
Yeah.
That's my point. That's what I'm saying.
The last few games, he's been good.
But y'all act like hold on, question. You got to echo. That's why I keep muting you, and that's why I drop you down. You're on an Android. You got to put some headphones on, or you're gonna have to get on a different device. Otherwise, there's like a glitch going on with Android right now, where if you're on an Android device, if you're just using the phone itself, it's gonna echo.
Lamont, the top five.
That's why iPhone better.
The top 5 people who lead the league in free throws.
But okay.
I'm gonna go in order. Number 1, De'Aaron Fox at 23 attempts. Number 2, Donovan Mitchell with 21 attempts. Number 3, Luka with 21 attempts. Well, it's like point something, but I'm just gonna say 21. After that is Desmond Bain with 21, and then 5th is Joel Embiid at 21. So it's actually a lot of finishers. Maybe the primary jump shooter. Maybe
so all of them go to the rim.
Yeah. Who's the primary jump shooter out of them 5? De'Aaron Fox, Donovan Mitchell, Luka, Desmond Bain, Joel Embiid.
I would say
Donovan Mitchell. What did you say? Desmond Bain in there?
Yep, 21.
Yeah, it would definitely be him.
All right, hold on, y'all. Hold on, we got Alex pulled up, man. Alex, man, what's the disdain, man? The disdain for LeBron, man. What's the hate for LeBron, man? What's your beef with him?
Let him get it out, yo.
Mic check. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we hear you.
Yeah, now we can hear you.
We can hear you.
Okay, so first, let me just.
You went out, bro.
Did he go out?
What happened?
Yeah, he went out as soon as he started talking.
Hey, y'all, let him get his complete thought out.
No, we were trying to check and see he went out. When he started talking,
I'm saying, I know. I'm saying when he started talking again, like, let's all let him get it out. And
I ain't gonna say nothing.
Go ahead, Alex.
We're a very respectful panel on FYF Sports. What you mean, bro? We're very respectful.
I'm having audio trouble. Hold on.
We hear you.
We hear you though.
I see you at the top.
All right.
He's sounding like LeBron in the clutch, man. Hey, what's up, man? What's up?
Well, okay. Let me first start saying off by I don't hate or have a disdain for LeBron. He's a great player. Is he as great as Jordan, Kobe? No. But he's a great player. He's in that elite class. So let's get that straight. I do agree he's a great player. That just because I say a couple things here and there doesn't mean I think he's garbage or trash or whatever you guys assume. So that's the foundation to lay it. He's a great player. Yes, I agree.
Well, can I ask you a question?
Let him finish.
And
he didn't get his takeoff yet. He was just laying
niggas ready to hop out the car.
That's how I feel, though. I feel the same way, bro.
So, I think he was Lamont was talking about earlier about the fans. It's part of it. It's not an entire reason. Part of it is the fans and the media, because the media spews LeGoat James, Shannon Sharp's out there with the goat mask and the cigars and the Hennessy. It's kind of like when he does something good, okay, I understand. It's great. He's a great player, yes. But the fans they'll take that same message and times it by 10 or 100 sometimes. I go on these Facebook comments and I'm reading these things. I'm like, dude, are you guys even watching the games? Yes, he's good. Yes, he gets his points, but you also have to dissect. Hey, he's getting his points within 4 feet of the basket. I think it's like 83%. It's within the
Let him run.
4 feet of the basket. Okay, that's fine. Let him do that.
No.
So
keep going. Yeah, keep
there's I kind of lost my train of thought, but
going. 4
there's a
feet
lot
from the basket. Yeah, all at the rim.
Yeah, and he's starting to become a shooter, right? Since the whole league changed, right? There's more 3-point shots. So the dynamic is LeBron is not a shooter. He's not a good free throw shooter or 3-point shooter, but he's chucking them up. He's chucking them up. Why?
Can we get the one-on-one fade with him?
Yeah, I have my question ready.
There's a lot we can say, but
Hold on, I got the first question. Please let me.
Okay, I got two.
Let me just ask one thing. Now, my question to you is: if Michael Jordan is the GOAT, when you look at all the statistics like points, rebounds, assists,
they don't care.
Still, Jordan ain't number one in none of them. So what is he to go to?
That's the lamest argument ever.
Hold on. Let them dance.
No, that's it. Mine be short. I'm good.
That's the lamest argument. That's the lamest argument ever.
Well, money about to get out of control.
So we all agree that Jordan, Kobe, LeBron, Bird, Magic, they're all in the elite, right? The first class, the top tier athletes in the NBA, correct?
Facts.
So we have to kind of grade on a curve, right? Because yes, Jordan can score. Yes, LeBron can score. Kobe can score. Bird, Magic, Kareem, they can all score. So they're all in the same class. So we have to grade them differently when they're in that class. Do you guys understand that?
No, because the goal of scoring is LeBron. He's the greatest scorer of all time.
That don't matter, man. Because when Kareem was good, y'all still was saying LeBron was better than Kareem.
Thank you, Mingo.
Thank you.
Bro, stop it. That don't even make any type of
Nigga,
sense.
loosen up your turtleneck, man. Let these niggas talk real quick, gang.
Nobody gives Kareem the greatest ever.
We need something clear. We need something clear before we go, because Alex was talking real spicy in the chat. It's interesting, Lamont, how the tone changed when people pull up on FYF Sports. But let me say this, because we can go into the GOAT debate, no doubt. We can go into all that, but what's the issue when you talk about LeBron James, right? And you talk about his criticism. What's the issue with you? How have you changed your opinion on his game because of the popular opinion and the consensus in the media? Like, why does that change what you see when you watch the game?
That's not just, it's part of the reason. It's not the entire reason. It's just
no, but what changes when you watch his game? Do you watch his game and you hear all the LeBron fans in the background and you salty? Like, what changes his game though?
Okay, let's talk about on the court first. Yeah. Okay. He plays no defense.
No
defense. You telling me he has the highest basketball IQ, yet he watches plays in front of him and he can barely take a step towards the ball when the defense.
So you measure LeBron by year 21 standards? That's
no. He has not been playing defense, I believe. Well,
what year did he stop? Let's ask that. What year did he stop playing defense?
I would say he started slowing down. Around
not slowing down. He said stop.
Down. Well,
not slowing down. He said
gradual.
stop.
It's gradual. But when I noticed that he wasn't making 100% effort on defense, was after the Warriors beat him the first time in 2000.
Really? Okay, 2016 or 2015. Hold on. 2015, LeBron stopped playing. Okay, so now we're gonna do this because I want to hear the standards that you have, right? So, how many players in the NBA currently today, right, play that two-way 100% offense and defense that you talking about right now? How many players do that?
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
No. That's not about. I agree. I asked you a question, bro. What you?
I don't know. It's less. It's way less than it was back in the 90s.
No. Give me the players though. If you say nobody, then how are we measuring LeBron in year 21 to that standard, and nobody in the NBA is doing what you're playing?
He's the face of the league, right?
No.
No,
bro.
He's the GOAT, right?
Actually, he's not. Actually, he's not the face of the league.
Bro, you're not answering my question though. Which players in the NBA give you that effort that you're talking about, man?
Okay, off the top of my head, Kawhi Leonard, but he's been hurt. Okay, he's been hurt. He's been hurt.
But he's been hurt. So you bring up a nigga that's on maternal leave half the time? Like what?
He asked me for names. That's the first one that popped in my head. All
okay,
right?
keep going. Kawhi.
I mean,
hold on, y'all. I think y'all asking the wrong questions.
Yeah, I think so too.
Because now we go down because the wrong questions is, I mean, because he said a lot of stuff that just again, just before you even get to dive into the meat and bones of what he said, he said a lot of stuff that was just factually inaccurate. I mean, we can start with the shooting. You say LeBron James is not a good three-point shooter. LeBron James has played 20 years in the NBA. He's only had 4 seasons where he shot below league average. The rest of those seasons were either right at league average or higher. So the majority of his career, he's been at worst average three-point shooter to above average three-point shooter. And that's starting from the beginning of his career all the way to the end, even up to last year when he shot 34% from the three, which is above league average. So we've even seen him shoot up to 40% from the three like he did in, I think, 2012. So when the narrative that he can't shoot or that he just started shooting, where did that narrative come from? Because I don't know how accurate just that statement alone is unless you just running with the narratives of what a lot of people like to say.
It started when obviously the Warriors, the Splash Brothers, when they started doing their thing in 2015, the whole league changed. Everybody's pulling up from the logo, right? Everybody.
No, everybody is not.
So you're expecting him to shoot like them? Are you expecting him to shoot like Clay?
If you're trying to do what Curry does,
how many people shoot like Curry?
Hey, hold on 1 second. Hold on 1 second. Hold on 1 second, y'all. Let me address this. So the thing is, do you think when LeBron James faced the Spurs the first time in the finals, right? When he faced the Spurs the one time in the finals. Oh, hold on, let me get him out of here. We can hear too much noise.
What the hell is going on? You cleaning the bathroom?
Hey, wash your hands, nigga.
All right, hold on, y'all. Hold on.
That was foul.
So what I'm saying is, you say he's a high IQ player, and so being a high IQ player means understand.
He said it sarcastically.
I know, but being a high IQ player means understanding how teams defend you and what you can add to your skill sets, so it makes you much harder to defend. All right. The one criticism that a lot of people walked away with after he played the Spurs that first time in the finals is that the Spurs were able to kind of exploit his ability to make their mid-range consistently. And so what we've seen over the years is he's not trying to copycat everything that other people are trying to do. He's trying to make himself more difficult to defend because he knows that if they can defend me based on my weaknesses, that's a liability. I become a liability then. So him going out there and shooting a basketball and then it being efficient in it, that's just him addressing his weaknesses. So why now? When did we start turning people adding layers to their game into a weakness all of a sudden? Is he wrong for trying to be better? Is he wrong for trying to be a better basketball player? It almost sounds like y'all jealous. And on the flip side of that just conversely goes against Jordan's philosophy on three-point shooting. Jordan publicly came out and stated, I don't want to get better at shooting threes because I feel like if I start shooting threes because of, and this could potentially go to his basketball IQ. He says, if I start shooting threes, I know I'm just naturally going to stop driving and I won't be as aggressive driving as much. So Jordan, who had a liability in his game, which the era allowed for it because of the illegal defense, so he could have those types of errors. I mean, those liabilities in the game and get away with it. LeBron's in a league where he can't because of the zones and because of the way teams can defend. He has to add to his game. Why do you knock him for that?
Okay, that's like 3 parts. But first, the league's different than from Jordan when it was Jordan. When Jordan, there were centers. You have to have Shaq. You have to have David Robinson, Tim Duncan. So everything was.
No, you didn't.
Well, to succeed, you did.
Well, no, because the Bulls had Will Purdue and Luke Longley and succeed.
Exactly.
Yeah, because they had Jordan. They didn't need a David Robinson.
So conversely, to win championships, you needed great guard play. To make it look good, you needed a good big. Like Ewing made it look good. They never won.
Because he is a generational player, so he changed the league.
Karl Malone made it look good. He never won.
No, it really showed that the era was kind of
won.
back in time and wasn't really with the time and the skill set of the players that were there currently. If perimeter players got more freedom as the centers did, maybe they would have been more successful.
Hey, let me ask.
Oh no, let me hold on. Let me let
him
Alex
finish.
it. Let
him
Alex
finish.
Okay, so All right, so yes, Jordan did with guard play. He did what he did. 6 championships, playoff runs, whatever. So that changed the game when it was, all about Robert Parrish, the bad boy Pistons, big centers, big bodies in the hole, right? That changed it when Jordan. Then you got Kobe. Then you got Iverson, right?
Wait. Hold on, Alex. I gotta ask you this question, and I'm sorry to cut you off,
No
but
problem.
I need you to back up a little bit because you got on the highway just a little too early. What was Jordan in the playoffs? I know you're stuck on the reins, and I understand that. What was Jordan's record within the playoffs? Because the championship game is amongst the playoffs, but what was his overall record, sir?
It wasn't that well. We all know this.
But he's the GOAT, though.
Yeah, he wasn't.
So why
he wasn't the
speed
GOAT
over
yet.
that?
Okay,
Here
he
we
wasn't
go.
the GOAT yet because
that
he had to
doesn't-
build.
that doesn't
He had
have
to
any merit
learn.
with what we're
He had to
talking
have the
about,
right
though.
coach, the right players around him.
Like we can get.
I was about to
That's
say
gonna
that
take us
has
down.
nothing to do with
Here go
nothing.
these
That's
questions.
gonna take us
that
down another
doesn't
lane.
matter.
Hold on, y'all. That's gonna take us down the wrong lane because that's not the point I'm trying to make. Is I mean, obviously Jordan. What Jordan did was just like what Alex talked about. Jordan looked at the rules of the game. He understood with illegal defense how he could exploit it. He understood I don't need a 3-point shot. As long as the game is being played this way, I can dominate in this manner. That's what his IQ told him. LeBron, the game has changed, just like Alex said. You have to have 3-point shooting, and you yourself have to be able to shoot threes yourself to space the floor because teams now can zone up, make it extremely difficult for star players if you have those big holes in your game. And so we see LeBron having to expand his game to be great in this league. So all I'm saying is we knock him for adding layers to his game. We knock him for getting better. And then we finesse the numbers and say he's not a good shooter when he's only really had 4 seasons in his career where he was below average. And one of those seasons was his rookie year, which I don't even know how much we probably put into that. So really you're talking about 3 seasons of below average 3-point shooting out of 20. That's what I'm saying. Where did the narrative come from? Like, where did you get the narrative that he couldn't shoot threes from? Because the numbers don't say so.
I didn't get no narrative. I got from watching him pull up from the logo. When I saw
missing one shot doesn't make you a bad shooter.
When I saw him pull up from the logo, I'm like, this guy's trying to be like these young guys.
Yeah, but does that make you a bad shooter?
LeBron used to pull up on the logo when he was in Cleveland, bro. Back in the day, he was pulling up on the logo. Man, what are we doing?
What year was that? Tell me what year was
that. But that still
That
doesn't.
was in the late 2000s, man.
That's still not the point we're trying to make. Like, I mean, him pulling up, like we saw Jordan take horrible shots and missed them. We saw Kobe take horrible shots and missed them. We've seen LeBron take horrible shots and missed them. That doesn't define. We shouldn't then define. We see Kobe take a deep 3 for game winner. Do we define him and say Kobe's a horrible 3-point shooter? Why are you taking threes? No, Kobe just took one bad shot. It doesn't define who Kobe is, just like it doesn't define Jordan or anybody else. But he averages for his career. He's about a 34 to 35% 3-point shooter, which is for your star player, for a guy that came into the league and shooting was one of his big question marks. I think a lot of people would take that. So, but another thing I want to address is you said he scores a lot of his points in the paint, or he gets them closer to the basket. What's your gripe with that? Why does he have to shoot? Like, why does he have to score from other places on the floor?
Well, that's ironic, right? He shoots too many threes and yet too many shots at the rim, bro. What can the man do, man?
Yeah, I just want to. I know what's the problem.
Want me to answer first, because I
want to say what's the issue with him scoring closer to the basket?
Okay, I mean, you guys play basketball. I play basketball, so we know we can. My percentage would be pretty well within 5 feet of the basket, correct? Mm-hmm. Whether it's a layup or just a little, a little floater, right? Correct.
Contested layup. Hey, what you shooting from?
We don't know how you play, nigga.
No, I'm just asking in general. A layup or within 5 feet, it's easy to make, correct?
Not easy to make, no.
Correct. All right, go ahead. Jay, just answer this question. Yeah, go ahead. You're right.
So I mean, out of 10, I could probably make 8 of them within 5 feet of the basket with a layup or a little floater.
Let me ask you a question, Alex.
Alex.
Okay. Hold on. Now, Alex, I do give you that. Now, if if Dwight Howard and Hedo Turkoglu are standing at the rim, what are your odds of making that layup?
Yeah, man, exactly.
Not a lot.
Well, you're comparing me to a professional.
No. I'm just saying
in general. I'm just saying in general.
No. But you would have to. But what you would literally based on what you just said. That's you presuming that every shot LeBron's made has been wide open.
Hey, sometimes, man, the lane opens for him. Okay.
No.
Sometimes
with good players,
everybody just kind of like
yeah. But with good players,
sideways, and that's it.
We can't say the lane opens up for him. Well, why don't you just give him his credit and say he actually knows how to tap? He knows how to be, or you can say because he added the jump shot or the shooting to his game, it opened the floor up for him. Now he can get to the basket. Teams can't cheat. Or he's just a good driver to the basket. Maybe he's just elite at getting to the rim and finishing at the rim, just like we gave to Dr. J, just like we gave to all of the Iversons, just like we give to all of the other players that could attack the rim and finish at the rim at a high efficiency. Like Kyrie Irving, we give it to him.
Or he's just a freight train that don't get called for offense.
Yeah, but okay. So even if he is a freight train, the players get to the rim different ways. If it's by physicality, if it's by finesse, like we see with Kyrie Irving, you get there how you get there. The goal is to score the basketball. Why are we knocking him for being efficient at what he does?
So you want me to allow offensive fouls, and you want me to allow that? You want me to allow that?
A lot of those calls he didn't get. Those were on the defense.
So because obviously you play. So the goal is to get defenders out of position, and you can get a defense. You like it's just odd that y'all say the game is not a physical game, but then you talk about the physicality of LeBron James and how physical he is. So I don't know, so the game is physical all of a sudden. And then now he's been too physical with and that's what I don't get. I don't get what he's supposed to do. How can he win these? First he's playing in the soft era where they don't play any defense. Then they are playing defense, but LeBron is just too physical for them. Then in another sense, you're saying that he's shooting too many threes and can't shoot. But then on the flip side of that, you say he's scoring all of his buckets at the rim at an efficient rate. I don't know what to. I don't know what to understand here.
So
I thought I was the only one.
During Jordan's era, there was the Jordan rules, correct? We can agree that?
Yeah. No, there was no Jordan rules in the 90s.
Yes, there was. Yes, there was.
Hold on.
That was the Pistons. One team was doing that shit.
Hold on, y'all. Hold on, y'all.
Oh my God.
Hold on. In the 90s.
No.
In the 90s, there were no Jordan rules.
God. Hey, and you guys need to look this clip up. There was Magic Johnson saying when he was on the Team USA, it was like a photo shoot. I think they told Magic to put his hand on Michael Jordan's shoulder, and
so
Larry
you can't touch Jordan, and it's a foul.
Yeah. He's like, I can't touch him. Why? Because or something.
Yeah, because every time you touch Jordan, it was a foul.
Yeah,
it was a foul.
So those were the Jordan rules. Magic knew it. Bird knew it.
No, hold on, Alex. Do you know we've done full streams on exactly what the Detroit Pistons defined as the Jordan rules? We actually had John Sally. He actually, and Dennis Rodman, they listed, and actually one of the assistant coaches from the Pistons on Chuck Daly's staff detailed all of the rules under the Jordan rule. So it was a set of rules on how to defend Jordan by sending them left, certain things to do, certain things, ways to defend him. And on the very last thing on that list is if he beats us on all of these other defensive assignments, if he gets into the lane, we have to foul him because he shoots such a high percentage once he gets in the lane. It wasn't just foul Jordan. It was actually a set of defensive principles that tell these guys how to truly defend. And then the last option was go ahead and foul him so we don't give up the easy layup. That's the Jordan rules. We already did a whole stream on it. We talked about what they actually were and the myths that people just thought these guys in the '80s were just hacking Jordan and weren't really playing defense. That was a lie.
Well, so what was Magic Johnson talking about then?
Magic Johnson was simply talking about the fact that refs, it seemed to other teams that refs were highly favoring Jordan, and he got every single call, which sent him to the free throw line an astronomical amount of times.
And that's my point. I agree. That's my point. I agree with that.
And so you give Jordan credit for that?
No. I'm just saying that's how it was.
You flipping it the other way, bro. When Magic Johnson says you can't touch Jordan, that means you can't be physical, bro. It don't mean you
I
were.
know. I agree with you.
That don't have nothing to do with LBJ.
So how can you say that and then say LeBron is too physical, bro? Like, how does that make sense?
So yeah. So I'm getting to my point eventually. So same thing with Kobe, right?
That wasn't the Jordan rules what you just described,
right?
Go ahead.
So same thing. You know, we see what happened with the Kings, right? In the Western Conference Finals with the Lakers. We seen all those. Kobe elbowed dude in the freaking nose, and he was bleeding, almost busted his nose. No, I think they called the foul. I think it was Bibby. They called a foul on Bibby.
So you
what does that have to do with LeBron?
Because so for example, when you're the face of the league or the top player or among the top players, you get those favorable calls, right? Can we agree on that?
He haven't got no for the last 2 years.
All stars in the NBA get favorable calls. Yeah, that's
not all.
No.
But
hold on. But so what's your beef with LeBron if you've just acknowledged that all of the stars get the same treatment?
That LeBron is no different. He gets the same favorable calls.
So hold on. I don't want you to hold on, y'all. Because I don't want him to get out of this.
The facts say differently though. The facts say his foul calls have been going down since he's been in Miami. That's the thing though.
Because I guess Curry
his rim attempts have been going at the same rate or higher, and yet his foul calls are going down. So how does that fit with your logic or what you're saying?
Well, I don't know the stats on those fouls.
No, they've been going down.
But I do agree that those favorable calls that LeBron is getting, that's why the lane opens up.
No,
because they don't want to foul.
Okay, I'm lost.
Wait, no, you just said he's a freight train. That's why. What? Like, which one is it? Is it the refs or is it his style?
What? That's why he's a freight train.
Hold on.
He knows he can't be touched, so he goes to the.
Hold on, y'all. Hold on. The whole point of this is, and I want to let Minor and Benjamin go. They just pulled up. My whole point of this is, if his style, which we know that if you play basketball, there's just a lot of styles. When some guys drive, like when we talk about a James Harden in his prime, even LeBron, there's certain guys when they drive, they're just more physical players when they drive. They're looking for the contact. So when certain guys drive, like James Harden needs that contact. He needs to feel where you're at because he doesn't have the athleticism to finish over guys. Or he didn't have the finesse like Kyrie to spin it off the top corner of the backboard. So he's getting his elbows wide. He's trying to bump you, knock you off so you can't jump as high. And he's trying to finish a layup. So that's just LeBron's style of scoring. The question is, you need to ask yourself, is his style efficient? You can't say that it's just offensive fouls, and yet none of the refs are fouling him out of games. You know, a lot of people said Jordan was a hack, but Jordan didn't foul out a lot of games. I mean, there's a lot of things we can say. But you just saying it's an offensive foul, that's just a very weak argument. It's just efficient scoring, just like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. The man shot sky hooks, layups at the rim. But we don't run around saying, "Oh, Kareem ain't that good. He just shot sky hooks and layups at the rim. He's a 7-footer." Like you don't knock people for how they score. You give them credit for just getting the job done.
Yeah, Kareem was a center, so that was his job to do sky hooks.
Oh, so centers can be physical. Small forwards, physicality.
Hold on. We're jumping from point to point. We need to kind of stick.
No,
because you're all over the place.
No. We're not just jumping from point to point. No. You're not being consistent because you're just saying, look. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, because he's a center. Shaq, because he's a center, he can be physical. But LeBron at the small forward or point guard position cannot be physical, right? That's what you say?
Oh,
can you rephrase that? I don't understand.
Got him.
Now you don't understand.
No.
I'm just asking again.
Say it again. Let me
look, simply as a center. You allowing centers like Kareem, centers like Shaq, I'm assuming, to be physical at their position, but LeBron James at the small forward position, playing the point guard position, he cannot be just as physical in the game of basketball?
Okay, are other players as physical to combat LeBron?
What does that have to do with the price of tea in China?
No. You can't answer a question with a question.
Hold on. So are you saying no, Africa? I like what he asked.
We all know he's physical, right?
Hold on. So are you saying that LeBron James shouldn't be physical if the defenders defending him aren't physical back? So he basically should say, look,
he should play down.
He should look at his guy and say, Matisse Thybulle, you're defending me today. You're not as physical. So in turn, I'm not going to be physical with you. I think physical players, one of the reasons why they are physical, because it combats it, like it really goes against guys that aren't physical. You don't want to defenders that aren't physical don't like physical
He
players.
can't play basketball, bro. He can't play
And so let me ask you,
basketball.
Lamont. Let me ask you a
Hold
question.
on.
So
Let
what
me
does
respond real
what
quick.
does
Give me a
now?
second.
Let me ask Lamont a question real quick on that subject. That's a fair question, then. If that's the case, then I'm gonna ask you when a referee sees a player like a LeBron James come up against a player that is not a physical defender versus a physical defender, you think they call the game differently?
Yes, refs all call the game differently, but this is what refs, from what I've seen, tend to do. Refs tend to kind of go with the flow of the game. And so if they see a game where one team is just relying on a ton of jump shots, those teams tend to not get as many foul calls as opposed to teams that consistently pound the paint, consistently get at the rim, attack the rim over and over. There are refs that will award the team that's just simply being more aggressive. So again, different refs. I mean, I don't know if that really plays too much into this. I don't know where I just don't know where Alex is going with this, because it seems like you would want to, especially being a fan of the 80s and 90s, you would seem as if you would want to applaud LeBron James for being a more physical player, for attacking the basket more in an era where we see a lot of guys chucking up a lot of threes, right? People say it's bad for the game, but LeBron is staying steadfast in his way to play, getting to the rim, getting downhill, being that physical presence. And now he's penalized for being a physical presence in an era where a lot of people say it's soft because players are shooting too many threes. So do you want him to be one of these finesse three-point shooters of today's game, or do you want him to be that physical presence like you were used to seeing in the 80s and 90s?
Okay, earlier I said he was a freight train, which means he's physical, correct?
But is it good or bad?
So overall, in what essence is it bad? Because there's
no. I'm asking you. I'm asking
overall,
you.
it's all right.
So I'm only asking you that because generally speaking, I hear from 80s and 90s fans that physicality is good. And then when physicality with LeBron comes up, is used as a bad thing because you guys say he's just bullying everybody around. He's just a big bully. He's just punking my defender. So for LeBron, is physicality a bad thing?
No, it's not bad.
Okay, so it's an attribute.
In this form of how basketball is played today, yes, it is, because he's allowed to be physical. And there's videos on YouTube of him using his left hand to push off defenders.
Is it bad when Giannis does it?
Come on, man. Like,
hold on.
You have to recognize.
Hey, hold on, Alex. That literally will happen on every possession in an NBA game. That's just something guys naturally do. When you hoop and you get the advantage, Kyrie loves this is what they even teach guys, even during drills. What do they teach you? When you get by your man, take that off arm. They actually teach guards now, when you get by your man, you need to take that off arm and you need to put it on the defender's knee once you get by him. Right. So they're teaching this now. So they're teaching this type of physicality. It's a sneaky way to get an advantage. Right. They know that refs can't see it because the game is too fast. So again, this adds to the level of physicality in this game. It's something that now defenders have to combat. They have to find ways to combat these types of tactics and antics from offensive players. So it's just like in the 90s. It's just a layer of physicality that they're bringing to the game. But every player does it. Paul George. All the good players, Jason Tatum, any good player that's good at driving to the basket is going to use that offhand, and it's actually something that's taught. What they don't teach is they need to make sure once you put that offhand on the defender, you can't extend it and show the ref an extended arm, because that's when the ref calls the offensive foul. So again, the refs are going to allow these guys to be physical to a certain degree. You can't extend it. There's certain things you can't do, and they're going to let these guys play physical. But that contradicts the narrative that this era is soft and not physical, though.
Oh, really? Oh, you think this is a tough era?
But you can't have both. You can't say that these guys are being physical and then say this era is not tough.
So what do you think? Do you think it's tough or soft?
No, this era is definitely tough. It's just you're dealing with more skilled players on the floor at one time, which makes it harder to defend.
What made the 80s and 90s tough? Because niggas was playing football on the court. Like that, is that what made it tough? Because like Lamont just said, like then if you think playing football on the court is tough and that's what you love and that's what you missed, then stop crying about LeBron being a freight train.
They played rugby type basketball at that time, which what we call as jailhouse ball.
Yeah,
but they actually played rugby during those years.
Hey, let me ask Alex. Go ahead.
So with that, I can kind of see where he's trying to come from, mainly because I'm 50, so I done watched all these years, but I can't get how he's trying to present it because he didn't talk from both sides of his mouth. Then he then went up the wrong lane of the highway on several other points. So I'm even confused.
Well, ask me. What are you confused about?
You you talked about the shooting, right?
Yes.
Then right behind that, you talked about him being able to lay up the ball or even dunk the ball,
Okay.
but then you said it's a lack of defense. So normally it's a time frame for all that, right? But that's not the way you even try to present your argument. The way you gave your argument, you threw everything in the basket, and if we were to walk that timeline, it contradicts your statement because it holds no. It is like you're favorable only to certain players. Michael and Kobe never seen a shot they didn't like, Doc. To totally be honest, they didn't see a shot that they didn't like, even with the 3-point shooting that was around both of them. So we all can attest to that. But when it comes to LBJ making basketball plays, then you tried to hop on the shooting. So he shouldn't have basketball intelligence or IQ. He should just be a ball hog. That's not the way that young man has played basketball since high school. And you have to be honest with that.
So
Because remember, he didn't go to college, he came from high school. So he only had the prior teaching of his high school coach.
I agree, and that's part of his growth that I believe is still untapped.
At 21 years in the
Wait,
league.
what is untapped is the part I'm trying to get out of you, my dude. What
What's
part is
LeBron's
untapped?
what's his system? What is when he comes to a team? What's his system?
He is the system, nigga.
No, that's not true. Well, so he's operated under multiple systems. So there's been systems where he operated out of the continuity system, our 4-out system, the 1-4 high system. We saw Spoelstra run a lot.
Yes.
We saw various systems. We even saw with under Frank Vogel, they ran a lot of pistol actions, and that was a pistol system. And they took a little bit of from D'Antoni's book because that team was more in 2020 was more transition oriented. So they ran a lot of pistol actions and things like that. So we have seen LeBron. I think the most stagnant system we saw him run was early in his career. In Cleveland, where they actually ran a Princeton style offense. So we've seen multiple different types of systems LeBron James has been in. You can choose one you favor, but we've seen him play in a lot of different systems.
So I could tell you what Kobe's and Jordan's system was.
Triangle.
The ones that
it was a triangle.
Yeah, exactly. That's their system. That's what they used to exceed expectation, right?
But that's what Phil Jackson used.
No,
right.
no,
and then Kobe used it, and Michael used it.
Okay,
right?
but how can LeBron use the triangle when Phil Jackson isn't?
I'm not saying use a triangle. I'm saying what's his system.
Okay, but he's had, but LeBron has played under different coaches.
Yeah,
he has to play in the system that the coach designs. Exactly. Frank Vogel designed a pistol system for them to play in transition because that was a fast team that defended and got in transition. They led the league in transition points in 2020. And then hold on one second, DJ. Then you go to different teams like this year. We've seen a more 5-out team, right? They're more 5-out oriented. Like in Cleveland, when they were early years in Cleveland, they were running the Princeton offense. We seen them in Miami. They were running more things similar to what Mark Few and Gonzaga ran with the 1-4 high system. So they were running a lot of those sets where 1-4 high plays because they had Chris Bosh at the elbow. They would sometimes even put D Wade at the elbow and let LeBron operate at the top. So I mean, there's been a lot of systems. So I think him playing under multiple systems just lends to his versatility because he's been able to adopt under different systems and still win championships in almost all of those systems.
Okay, and what happened to Blatt when they were first in the Eastern Conference?
Oh my God, man!
No.
Wait. No.
This is sick.
Alex.
No. We can't just move from point to point.
We're moving.
Hold on.
It sounds like he don't want LeBron balling.
Alex, No, hold
You
on,
gotta
hold on.
acknowledge what
Alex,
Lamar
Alex.
just said. Hold up, DJ. You gotta acknowledge what he just said, right? Because he talked about the versatility of LeBron James and his ability to play in all these different type of systems and still win. You move on to David Blatt and just disregard the whole statement. Disingenuous, Alex. You gotta acknowledge certain things and stay to one point.
I
And when you
apologize. I
catch an
do
L, you can't
acknowledge.
just breeze through that.
I
No.
do
So hold up.
acknowledge.
Well, we ain't gonna do that. Just like we look over
No,
Jordan
but
80s and we act like that
but
never
what
happened. We
happened?
ain't gonna do that.
No, we can talk about the year with
No,
David Blatt. The year with David Blatt, that was a different system. He's an overseas coach. He brought in some different philosophies. What happened that year? I believe they still got to the NBA Finals that year, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So, getting to the NBA Finals, look, you might not win them all, but getting to the NBA Finals is a hell of a run. You didn't win it. Yep, they might have. Then they were probably. I don't think they were even favored to win it, but hell of a run. Did they get it done? No. But hell of a run. So I think a lot of teams in this league would love to just get to the NBA Finals once under whatever system they got. I mean, the fact they got there, that's a hell of a job. You can't win them all.
The man got into
But
more
Alex,
finals than 77 NBA.
Can I get in here?
But you mentioned that, Alex. You mentioned that season as if that season was just a complete failure. Getting to the finals only with LeBron James has now become a complete failure. When we see a lot of these other teams with Kobe and Jordan can miss the playoffs, they can lose in the first round, and those ain't failures. When LeBron gets to the finals, how is getting to the finals all of a sudden looked at as a failure now?
Right, but he brought up system, and he's literally talking about someone that's high in the assist all time.
No, but
So
what was your point with that, Alex? You brought up the system as if he doesn't play in any systems, or what was the point with that?
He don't really have no points, bro. Let's be real.
I think bro cooked. Check on him and guess on to the next meal.
Did he drop out?
No, once you
I
empty
think,
all the
I think
narrative
he's still
clip,
there.
the narrative
I think
clip
he's
is
the one that's
empty,
blacked
and now
out.
there's nothing left, bro. Like there's nothing.
Oh, he's on mute. He's on mute. We'll let him get back to it. Hold on. While we wait on him to get back, let's get to Minor real quick. Minor pulled up, man. Salute. Then we're gonna get to Benjamin in here. Minor, what you got on this conversation, man?
I think when you look at LeBron, and you brought out all the systems he's been a part of, I think it's a very casual way of looking at it when you say that he's the system, and that's just completely not true. A lot of people just try to condense LeBron's game to just drive and kick, and clearly, if you look at the way the sets that they ran, his first run in Cleveland compared to the run in Miami, compared to the second run in Cleveland, you can see clear differences in the way that LeBron executed. It's night and day difference. So to sit here and say that LeBron is a system,
break that down. Justin just said that's a lie. Break that down for us, bro. The differences that you saw in those times of LeBron.
You asking me to break it down, or you asking him?
Yeah,
to break it down?
you, bro. Yeah. Because just
you the one said it.
Yeah.
I don't think he said that. So I think somebody else said that.
Now go ahead, Minor. Go ahead.
Sure. So you look at, like I said, when you have in the first run in Cleveland, there was a lot of more pick and roll. There's a lot more using LeBron as a more of a driver, but even as he wasn't necessarily kicking out as much back then. It was a lot more ISO because that was the era. Then you look at Miami, where they're doing more three-man weave, focusing more on transition points than necessarily trying to score in a half set. Where you look at Cleveland, with the type of player that Kyrie was, the type of player that Kevin Love was, the other players around him, they were more comfortable in running half court sets compared to how they were in Miami. Miami, if you remember, the reason they would lose a lot of games is when teams would prevent them from scoring in transition, because that's where Miami got the bulk of their points. That wasn't the case in Cleveland. Now, once he went to the Lakers, like Lamont said, especially that 2020 run, he had all those maybe not the best shooters. So that driving kick game that he had in his first run in Cleveland wouldn't work. So then they had to go back to transition, and it focused more on LeBron playmaking than scoring. That was also the year he led the league in assists. So to say that LeBron is the system, that's not accurate. He plays inside of a system. His differences, it may not be as catchy as saying he's in the triangle or he's running the D'Antoni system, but there is a system around LeBron in every step he goes.
No, Alex had asked the question, what is his system? Because he's trying to define something like LeBron goes against every coach that he done been under, and that was the point that I was going to beat him down on.
Well,
because
I think the main question is, and I mean to cut you off, sorry about that. I think the main question is, if the indictment could be systems, then you would have to ask yourself outside. I mean, you would have to take the other two players he introduced into the conversation, Kobe and Jordan. Outside of the triangle system, what could they win? Or were those two confined to that system to be great? And then we look to LeBron. Was he confined to one system, or was he able to win under multiple systems? Again, it just lends to LeBron's versatility. Kobe struggled. Kobe statistically was able to thrive without the triangle, but that was only as an individual player. He could not win anything without Phil Jackson in the triangle. Same with Jordan. We saw Jordan thrive individually and statistically without the triangle, but he could not win anything without it. And this is one of the reasons why he wanted Phil Jackson at the helm for so long. So again, he's creating if he's just creating a new category where you can say LeBron outdid these two in this, and by bringing it up. So it's probably not the road he wants to go down if he's trying to keep Jordan and Kobe over LeBron.
I got to push back on that.
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna go way back where y'all started in. LeBron shouldn't be penalized for getting a bunch of shots in a restricted area. That's effective as hell. MJ shouldn't be penalized for getting to the free throw line 10 times a game. But I think there is something to be said about LeBron's lack of versatility in terms of scoring, especially like from a skill and shooting standpoint. And when y'all were saying like, oh, he's been more successful in supposedly more systems, I feel like that's missing a lot of context, because you're talking about a LeBron who's played with K-Love, Kyrie, AD, Wade, Bosh. MJ's played with Pippen and Rodman. Kobe played with Shaq and Gasol. So I just feel like y'all left out that context.
Can I ask you a question?
Who do they play though?
My question would be
go ahead.
Is it harder to win when things are consistent, or is it harder to win when you're jumping in with different players and different systems? Like we've seen LeBron go from different team to team, but even in unique situations, where in this situation you got Kyrie and K-Love, this situation you got Wade and Bosh, in this situation you just got AD. But we've seen him and just other role players, so we've seen him thrive in different systems and we've seen other players in that same time frame also kind of mirror LeBron, go join up with other star players. We saw KD go to the Brooklyn Nets with some star guys over there, but they couldn't get it done. We've seen, Paul George and Kawhi Leonard, two great players, even Kawhi Leonard, who's a champion. They teamed up in the Clippers. They've struggled to get it done. So we've seen people try to mirror what LeBron has done. They couldn't get the system and they couldn't get the chemistry down the way LeBron has everywhere he's been. Isn't that something that lends a one up to LeBron in those instances, because he's been able to be the guy to bring everything together, make everything work?
I would say yes, because you even had Love hurt, you had Kyrie hurt, and those are two different. Those are the stars that he just brought up.
He what?
Go ahead, Benjamin. Go ahead.
I would say, I'll let him finish his point. What were you saying?
He said that he brought up.
Alex, you've been cooked. Let Benjamin go. Get back on me.
Benjamin. When I say he bought up, I'm talking about Benjamin was the one that added them to the equation. Benjamin, please finish your statement, bro.
Okay. Well, I was just gonna respond to Lamont. I mean, it would depend on the circumstances, but I personally believe it's actually easier to play with multiple combinations of all-stars and different players and different coaches than it is just one. So
okay.
like
no. If that's the case, can you give me any other examples of that?
Well, let me respond first to your example. So you brought up like Kawhi and KD, right? How they joined different super teams. So we do have to acknowledge like the Brooklyn Nets were never healthy. Like we do have to acknowledge that.
Okay, but that means you got to acknowledge that D Wade also wasn't healthy, and then you also have to acknowledge Kyrie and K Love also weren't healthy a lot during that time frame when they were with LeBron. Even Anthony Davis hasn't always been healthy with LeBron James. So if you throw health into the equation, a lot of the guys he's teamed up with haven't always been healthy.
That's true, but not to the same degree. I mean, there's a stat that said like the Brooklyn Nets big three play like 16 to 20 games together, if I'm not mistaken.
AD has missed like 90 plus games since joining the Lakers, and you talking about not to the same degree?
So a big three playing 16 games together? What was it, 2 seasons?
I'll be
okay,
honest
but
with you, bro.
let him get to his point. I'm just trying to get.
What I'm saying is, I agree with you, Lamont. Like, yes, LeBron had health problems too with Wade and stuff, but it's nowhere near to the same degree as KD. And then with Kawhi, I mean, we know about Kawhi's injuries. So,
okay, all right.
How's it not to the same degree though? They only played a year.
Oh, so how is it easier to play with multiple teammates and multiple coaches? Like, how is it easier?
You got to learn
because you got so many different combinations. Like, one guy could be an elite shooter, one guy could be, a slasher like Dwayne Wade. You got an all-star elite big man in Anthony Davis. I feel like it's actually easier.
But I feel. See, there we go with that word. I feel, right? So
it's an opinion, right? It's your opinion, my opinion. So we both feel.
You do know when the Heat got together, right? Like they didn't just mesh right out the gate, right? Like you do know you have to learn how to play with different people, right?
Well,
absolutely.
Well, no. Here's the easy answer to this, y'all. We've seen all throughout NBA history, big threes get put together. The overwhelming majority of the time when these big threes get put together, they don't win a championship. There's going to be a few instances in NBA history when they do win, like we saw with the Celtics, and that was short-lived. Obviously, LeBron's done it. Outside of that, when you see these teams kind of get put together, especially through free agency or via crazy trades, they really don't win a lot. They don't win championships a lot. So it's not like you have some type of track record to go off of that says, yeah, when these teams get put together, all of a sudden these three good players, it generally always works. When overwhelmingly the majority of the time it doesn't work. So that lends more to Young Africa's argument that it's harder to get your chemistry, it's harder to get your cohesion. Even if you throw 3 stars together, it's harder to win. What we've seen is the teams that build that chemistry, the teams that stay together, like we saw with Jordan, like we saw with Kobe during those years, just like like we saw with the Warriors, the teams that build it together and they are able to build that chemistry, even with the Denver Nuggets last year, those are the teams that have success over the teams with the star power.
So it took time, Lamont. It took time.
So all I'm saying is the fact that LeBron was able to join teams and in a short amount of time get the chemistry up, get the cohesion up, and then get them to a level that where they're able to win a championship. Why does he not get any flowers for that when history tells us it's extremely difficult?
Because he's in the Eastern Conference. That's why.
That actually does play a role. I mean, that is true.
How are you guys dismissing this, yo?
No.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Y'all gotta stop.
Y'all gotta stop to miss everything.
Wow. Hold on, you gotta stop playing it like
he didn't come to the West and do the same thing. We're gonna act like he didn't do that. Like,
one year,
just
almost every category.
One time.
Where did he won a finals? He won a ring in the West.
That's your claim to fame.
He won a ring in the champion. Hold on, y'all said he couldn't win in the West. He went to the West and won. Like now we gotta
one time.
See, this is the thing. All the players, hold on. All the players said the bubble ring was tough, right? All the players are telling us that this shit was tough. Hold on. But you want us to trust you niggas that go to the YMCA and ball and LA Fitness and ball, but you don't want us to trust the niggas that actually were in the bubble? So now let me ask you this: had LeBron lost in the finals, would that bubble L have had an asterisk next to it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's a lie.
Yeah, okay.
No,
Against the
it
Heat,
wouldn't.
Okay.
yes, that would have been a
Nah.
bad
I would have
look.
said it would.
Yeah, okay.
Against the
Bro, you
17.
lying like a motherfucker. He mean,
Oh,
It's
then look,
No, I ain't.
You
I
lying.
ain't saying
That's
it
an
would.
asterisk, bro.
That's. But I don't
Hold
really
on,
count that,
okay.
man. That
and then
bubble
you
shit
talk
was
about
So
bullshit.
this last year playoffs don't mean nothing then, right? This last year
no,
playoffs
because he
doesn't
didn't win
mean
it.
nothing.
He didn't win it. He's supposed to win it
No,
every
no,
year, or
no.
it don't count.
It was
Yeah,
it,
it's
it was
ring or
it was
bust.
all the same 4 teams that was in the conference finals is what I'm getting at. So if the bubble don't matter, this last
with
year
different
playoff didn't
rosters.
matter neither.
Yeah, different. Oh yeah.
But that's the stupidest argument ever. What are you talking about? Different
Bruh.
What I'm
seasons,
saying.
different circumstances.
Yeah,
But
different
that's
Y'all not
not
teams.
the same
getting what
thing.
he's
Bro,
saying. Y'all
stop
not
it.
getting what he's saying.
Three,
Y'all not getting what
three,
he's
It
saying.
doesn't
three of
matter
those
what he's saying. It's
teams was
stupid.
still together. Three of those
It's
teams, the
stupid.
core
That
of the team
whole
was still
concept is
together.
dumb.
How's that
Bro,
stupid?
stop it.
Because
That is
three of those
stupid.
teams,
Because
the
look,
core was still
first of
together.
all, the bubble. Because first of all, the bubble, there was no travel, no crowd, no home field advantage. With all that, with the bubble,
And everybody
the same
had to
4
deal with
teams.
the same stuff, right?
Hold on. Wait a minute. The same 4 teams make it to the Western Conference Finals and the Eastern Conference Finals. And this playoffs gone. There was a crowd. There was a such thing as home field advantage. There was travel. It made it was totally different. Totally
So
different.
everybody
Is
had
different
the
than the
same.
crowd, man. Cut
Everybody
that
had
out.
the same shit though.
They weren't the
I
same.
The only
counted
thing
bubble
is
ring.
Weren't even
different
the same
to a higher
is there
team.
regard.
was no
They
crowd.
were very different teams, Justin. What are you
So
talking
y'all
about?
trying to tell me
Come
that
on,
home
bro.
field advantage for Denver with that altitude didn't help them?
Oh, Denver been having this altitude advantage for years, bro. You acting like
For
That's my
years.
point. So
It's
y'all
the
trying
same.
to tell me that altitude thing didn't make a
It
difference?
hasn't
where
helped
was
them
that
for
advantage?
years.
That's what I'm
What are you
saying.
No.
talking
Hold
about?
on. To
Where
your
was that
point, then
advantage?
since
Carmelo
hold
Anthony.
on.
No. This
To
is what
your
we're gonna
point,
do, man.
since they had an advantage, then the Nuggets ring don't count. Then since they
We
had an
don't have
advantage,
to
Hell
do
yeah,
this,
y'all
Captain.
say
brother.
the
What kind of
no.
nonsense is
Because
that?
you
Oh,
said the
stop it,
Lakers.
Cap.
Hold on. The
Man,
Lakers
stop it.
had an advantage apparently.
This
Only
is
the
sad.
Lakers didn't have fans. Only the Lakers this is the thing. If we talk about
No,
shortened seasons
nobody
and shit
didn't
like
have
this,
fans. Bro, that's not what I was saying. You trying to mix up what I was
You know
saying.
what?
I'm
I
trying to
That's
know
make
not what I'm
Because
sense.
you're
saying.
only
I'm
giving
trying to make
That's
sense.
not
you're
what I'm
only
saying.
giving
That's
Denver
not what I
the
was saying at
altitude.
all.
And the funny
I
thing about it,
didn't even mention the
I
Lakers.
didn't actually live. I lived up in Denver, and I'm from the south, so I know the difference in the altitude. And since the organization have been there, they should run everybody out the gym if you technically want to be honest. Because the altitude up there, it does take a little bit to
Exactly.
And they just
adjust
now
to.
getting their first
Yeah, if you
ring.
With what
remember
roster?
They just got
the old Denver teams of the '80s, the Alex English, that's what they did. They would run up the score and they would run and gun all night, and they would make
Exactly.
sure that if you weren't prepared for it, you were gonna get outscored. Plain and
But it's
simple.
still no
Justin, the
championship.
ironic
So
thing,
so
Justin.
what he's saying about Denver, the altitude has always been there, my dude. Is
We know
basically
that.
what
We know
what,
that.
what we're
Justin know that.
saying.
But
You
they still
capping
get
though,
No,
because
bro.
Justin. Well, what are you talking
That's
about the
not what
bubble,
I'm
right,
saying.
Justin?
What I'm saying, the
No.
circumstances
Justin,
wasn't the
stop
same.
it,
That's
bro.
all I was saying.
They
I
never
just
the
made an
same,
example
Justin.
with the altitude thing, but what I
They
was
never
saying
the
is the
same, Justin.
circumstances wasn't the same.
but
That's what I was
everybody had
saying.
the same
Always
Different
advantage
different
though.
But
circumstances every year, Jester. And this is what I'm trying to tell you, bro. When we talk about the bubble year, right? I don't even want to
Y'all
jump to the
missing what
bubble
I'm
year.
saying.
That just
But
the
the
shit,
number
fam.
one
I get it.
seed
I
in
get
the
it. I got you.
NBA that season was the LA Lakers. If you want to talk about who got hurt by not having home court advantage, it was the LA Lakers. They would have had home court advantage all the way throughout the playoffs. So if you want to name a team,
How you
one
know
team
that?
that lost, no,
How do you
Justin.
know that?
You want to name
Nigga,
one
they were the
team that
number one
lost the most?
seed.
That
George,
lost the
you
most
got to
when it
echo
comes
That don't
to
George.
mean
home
they would have
court
finished the
advantage.
season as the number one
That
seed.
is the LA Lakers, Jester.
You
So that don't
saying?
even make sense what you're talking about. When you talk about
Hey,
home court
but hold
advantage.
on, y'all. Why are
Don't do
we
that.
talking about that? Like, who
Because
cares?
Jester be capping,
That's
man.
my
So I
point,
want
but
to
I
say
don't
this,
know.
Like the
Lamar.
thing
I want
is,
to
y'all
say this.
can as much as as much as y'all run around. Like the one thing we know is if he would have lost it, y'all would have counted it as an L. Now y'all mad. Like don't get mad because he won it. And now you
I
want
mean,
to
I
put
don't
an
care.
X.
It counts.
No.
It counts.
So what I'm
When I
saying is
ask
why
you
we
about
talking
it,
about it.
counts.
At the
It
end of
is
the
what it
day,
is.
Yeah, it
100
it
years from
definitely
now,
counts. It
100
definitely
years
counts.
from now, nobody's gonna care where it was played. They're just gonna look in the books and did he win it or not? Who cares?
He
Let me
won
move
it.
past.
It counts.
Well, Lamar, I
He's
wanted
4
to
and
say this
6.
about
It
the
counts.
topic at hand, right? I want to ask you this because it's interesting how players, when they come to this level of greatness, when we talk about a James Harden that comes to an offensive level of greatness when he drops 37 points, when it comes to LeBron James and certain players that hit this peak level of greatness and start touching the all-time greats, it seems that we go from praising them initially for what they were doing to now talking about the holes in their game and critiquing them to what they are not as opposed to what they are. Well, why do you think this happens when players reach this peak level of greatness and start meeting and coming into the conversation of all-time great players and what they're doing?
I would like to answer that.
That happened with everybody.
It's because I'm gonna let him go too. It's because the era of sports that we living in now is championship bias. Everything's contingent on winning championships, and if you don't win championships, it's gonna be hard for fans today to accept what you do is individually great. Fans no longer care about what the organizations are doing to build proper teams. Fans no longer care about the coaching that's put in place around you. They no longer care about the teammates placed around you. It's either championship, and if you don't win the championship, we don't want to accept what you're doing, and they're gonna find. And this is, if we're being honest, this all primarily started with LeBron James, right? And the reason why we know it started with LeBron James is because statistically, individually, he's doing things that will probably never be matched again in NBA history. So he's going to be at the top of a ton of categories. And so for a lot of fans right now, we're dealing with a majority of the fans are fans from the Jordan era or from the 90s. Those fans will ultimately get phased out and things may change. But right now, we're just dealing with the narrative of the only way we can keep Jordan at the top, because statistically, it's going to be extremely difficult to keep him at the top if we look at that on the individual standpoint. So now we only can keep him at the top based on perfection in winning championships. So the only way LeBron would have even stood a chance to be in this conversation is if he would have to never lose an NBA Finals, because that's the only thing he cannot match of Jordan's, is being perfect in the finals. Everything else, he's either usurped or done better individually. And then that's when they run to the things like the way the game looks, or he didn't shoot enough jumpers, or he's scoring too many buckets at the rim. So they run to other things that nobody in past ever there's no coach in NBA history that's going to complain about a player scoring too many layups. Like coaches and real people that look at basketball are going to look at you like a fool. Are you mad at them? No player in NBA history, in basketball history, has gotten taken out of a game because he's making too many layups.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard of anybody? So the logic contradicts just basketball itself. That's all.
Has anybody ever
flat out lie too? By the way, that's a flat out lie. Cool. By the way,
how's
a flat out lie?
How's that a lie?
Point out the lie,
bro. That's a flat out lie. First of all,
point out the lie.
Because he said Jordan's stats don't measure up to LeBron's own, so that's what he tried to say, which is a lie.
That's not what I said.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. You was like they can't go to the stats, so they have to go to championship. That's what you said.
What I said was, I said when it's all said and done, I said LeBron individually and statistically is going to top Jordan in most. That's what I just said. Okay, so hold on, Mingo Jester. So are you saying it's not true that LeBron?
No, it's not. That's a lie.
Hold on, listen to what I'm saying. First of all, you're just talking. You're not listening. You're just yelling. It's a fact. It's literally a fact that LeBron James.
Lie. That's a lie.
Hold on, Mingo Jester. You just saying stuff and you just don't be listening. It's a fact that LeBron James is going to top Michael Jordan in almost every basketball statistical category you can think of. I didn't say all of them, but he will top Jordan in most of them. If he hasn't already, he will pass him. He tops him in rebounds, assists, points, assists per game. He's going to top. He's going to top him. He's going to top him in playoff points. All these things, LeBron is going to top Jordan in. So at the end of the day, when people look in the books, what Jordan fans are now trying to do is they're trying to present the argument you can never be better than Jordan, no matter what your stats are, if you don't go 6-0 in the finals. This is the new criteria for being the GOAT. You have to be perfect in the finals. That never was the standard before. That's what Gilbert Arenas talked about the other day. Jordan became the GOAT off one championship. That was this. So then now all of a sudden you got to win 6. You got to go 6-0 or better to be considered. And then even if a player is able to eclipse that, y'all gonna find a way to use the stats to manipulate and say statistically he wasn't as good. So again, it don't matter what LeBron do. Y'all gonna try to create a window to say he didn't do this or he didn't do that like Jordan. Therefore, he cannot be better than Jordan. It doesn't matter.
That's a damn lie. And I'm gonna tell you.
Let the nigga with the turtleneck respond, yo. Let the nigga with the turtleneck respond.
Lamont, I'm gonna tell you how that's a lie. because now you're talking about a cumulative stat. I remember a scream that you had when you said a cumulative stat doesn't matter. You was like, you got to go by averages. You have to go by averages. I remember you saying that out of your mouth. You go by averages, not a cumulative stat. But now all of a sudden you're going by a cumulative stat and not the average.
But that was talking about how much weight you put into each stat. I'm talking about each statistical gap. What I'm talking about is that was a different conversation. We were talking about the weight that you.
It doesn't matter. You said
hold on, Mingo Jester. I'm talking. That conversation was primarily about the weight you put on each statistical category in any basketball conversation. What I'm talking about is, I don't care what weight you put on these statistical categories. LeBron's going to be at the top or in the top 10 of most of them, and he's going to be over Jordan in most of them. And it just seems like y'all mad because of it.
I'm not mad because it's a cumulative. He would be over in the cumulative stats, but not averages. Averages, no.
Are we trying to value stats over rings?
God damn.
All right, so then Bill Russell's over Jordan then, since we doing that.
Bill Russell shot 44% from the
Robert
field.
Horry's over Jordan, and we doing rings.
Okay. I'm glad you bring this up. Hold on. About Robert Horry. Okay.
Bill Russell, 11 rings. Don't worry about Robert Horry.
No, he brought it up. He brought up Robert Horry. Let's bring him up.
You just said no. Hold on, Young Africa. Africa. He just said stats don't matter. He just said stats don't matter, only rings. So then, okay, Robert Horry's the GOAT.
No, he did not say. That's a lie. He did not say
stats.
He said y'all gonna value stats.
Is Robert Horry a Finals MVP?
That's what he said. He did not say stats.
Wait, hold on. Bill Russell's not a Finals
Robert
MVP.
Horry started.
That wasn't even. Hold on. That wasn't even valid when he was winning his shit. So
he won.
The MVP shit
don't.
They
started bringing it in at the end. He won.
Yeah. I think it was 1969. 1969. I think is when they started doing Finals MVP.
It still counts though. You can't dismiss it just because it wasn't around when another player.
Then they really don't want to do. They really don't want to do the MVP thing because then that knocks Kobe out. Then because it's like, all right, then is Kobe better than Bron?
I mean,
no, he's not.
Clearly, Kobe should have more.
LeBron don't have more accolades than Jordan, but y'all still say Jordan better. I mean, y'all still say LeBron better.
He got accolades in a weak ass era, nigga. Who else are they gonna give it to?
LeBron do not have more accolades than Jordan, but y'all
I'm sorry.
What got these casuals up here, man?
Wait,
you gotta let me
LeBron has more accolades.
You talking about a nigga that made the playoffs with a 38-44 record? Like what?
The
weak ass
twice with
Cleveland. That's not even like how that works.
What are we talking about here?
Jordan
weak ass
I can debunk that myth.
That still doesn't have. That still doesn't change
that. Then when you start talking about them added teams, that only makes my argument. So it's like, go ahead.
So there's less teams in the league, right?
Y'all use the
Let me say something
against LeBron, but then a nigga made the 7th seed with a 38-44.
It's not just about.
I ain't even talking about that. I'm talking about Jordan having more accolades.
Nigga, all he had to do was 4
Y'all be letting the conversation just like get derailed to stupid stuff, y'all. And then the conversation just sounds like none of y'all know what the hell y'all talking about. That's all it really sounds like. Because we get to talking about stuff that's so irrelevant, man. Like the whole point of this is that the fact is that when LeBron James retires, he's going to be at the top. And we remember we weren't running to accolades. It's a separate category. But when you talk about basketball statistics, whether it's averages or accumulative totals, LeBron James is going to be at the top of more statistical categories than Michael Jordan. And with that, those statistical categories are going to lend to his greatness. When people look at these stats 100 years from now, when basketball looks completely different, when they're going to say that the game that we see today, they're going to be saying 100 years from now that this is weak basketball, right? But they're going to be looking at the stats, they're going to be looking at the record books, and they're going to see this dude, LeBron James, at the top. And what's happening is the story that they're going to tell is going to be a lot different from the story that Jordan fans are trying to tell right now. And a lot of the Jordan fans who so desperately want to just keep Jordan at the top, what they're doing is they're changing the elements to what it takes to be considered the GOAT. They're changing the elements, and they're basically saying to beat this GOAT standard of player, which is Michael Jordan, the stats don't matter. The none of that matters. It's the finals. It's being 6-0 in the finals. That's the facts right there. So the only reason you set that bar, is because you know that's the one thing that LeBron James can never be, which is undefeated in the finals.
Can I say something?
That's a lie.
That's
a flat out lie.
Then they
Hold
talk
on, hold
like
on.
Jordan got way more rings. They got 2 more rings. Y'all act like this nigga got.
He still got
Cannot
more.
get
It don't matter how
argument.
many
And
more
he's
rings he got. He
undefeated.
got
What are you
more.
talking about?
Doesn't matter. He got more.
With less finals appearances.
Hey, the
What
reason
does
It doesn't matter. He still got
6-0?
more.
That's 100%.
bro, the
Book
reason
it.
we criticize LeBron is because again, everybody's in this
Y'all
top
just
tier,
made
correct?
y'all
So
just made
everything
Lamont
is graded
ultimate.
and on a curve. Everybody. So we have
Hey
to
Alex,
compare.
you just got cooked and you went on mute, gang. Go back on
And
mute.
then
But
and then y'all
y'all
say he
just
got
we
wait,
2
have,
more rings,
fellas,
bro.
but
We
then
have
y'all
to,
saying he
bro.
got 2
fellas,
more rings. But he
fellas,
also
fellas,
I got
more
six.
league
Everybody, bro.
MVPs,
Everybody,
more
bro.
fellas.
finals
Y'all
MVPs.
all the two
What's
that was just talking, y'all just made Lamont point, and that's why I even went on mute. Because that's the only statistic that y'all can really hold over him is the
no, you
finals.
can't. That's a
And,
lie.
Oh, there's
and
more.
10
There's
That's a
more.
scoring
lie.
titles.
Bro, there's
It's
still
a flat
7 months
out
of Hall
lie.
of Fame
Can I get
career
in on
between
this?
Hold
Jordan and
on.
LeBron.
Let
I
me say
think
this.
10
Let
10
me
scoring
leading in
titles.
steals, ain't he?
LeBron don't have that.
He
Can I
ain't
get
got
in on
that.
this?
He
Man,
ain't
that's
got
a
that
lie, bro.
category.
Y'all talking
Can I
about
get
that's the
in?
only. No, that's
Hey
not
yo,
the
hold
only.
on, hold
Bro,
on,
Jordan
hold
got a
on.
higher
They in
than
the comments. They can't hear it. We gotta so we gotta let it be one mic, y'all, because niggas in the comments
Can I get in?
saying they can't
Like,
hear
I
it.
didn't say a word yet.
Yeah,
Like,
go ahead, gang.
yeah, I just got in. You know, salute to everybody. You know, I get what Lamont's saying because I was one of those people, you know, that held LeBron to a higher standard than any other player because what I saw from Michael Jordan. And as the years went by, you know, LeBron, not on the championship level, but on a game level in his play, in his numbers, I mean, it's hard to deny that he's one of the greatest players that we ever seen. I don't get as a Jordan fan myself that when we give another player credit or you know we bring up their numbers and lift up their greatness, it's like a threat to Jordan. Like when did when did basketball come to that? You know, LeBron is arguably like a top 3, top 2 player of all time. Like nobody's is ever going to deny that. And
Facts.
and and to say that you know just because Lamont's saying LeBron is going to break every statistical every statistical milestone that Jordan has, it's facts, you know. And to LeBron credit, you know, he played every game for the majority of his career. He was always on the floor. At times, he had to sacrifice his play to make other players better. You know, it took LeBron 6 years to get an established team. Where Jordan, you know, in his I believe his 5th year or 6th year, he got Scottie Pippen. You know, at sometimes LeBron was the main focal point
They,
of his
they
team, and
didn't
he could
win
have put.
immediately when they got
Yeah,
Scotty, though.
I know know
Right.
that, but in that first stint with Cleveland with LeBron, nobody was on Scotty's level. You know what I mean? So you know it took LeBron to go to Miami to find legit talent. So what I'm
Why do y'all
saying
be
is,
lying, man?
no, I'm not. I'm
I
not
don't know,
lying,
man.
man.
Just be
That
Cleveland was
first,
making
a
up.
60-win
That's
team,
a,
bro.
come on, man.
And
No,
besides,
no,
Scotty had a
So
no.
you
70-win
telling me a
team.
team?
He's
let
talking
me
about Dan
finish.
Scotty did
Gilbert
not do
did
that much.
Let
not.
me
Yo,
finish,
y'all gotta
bro.
let
Let
him
me finish,
finish,
bro.
man.
Let
Damn.
me finish,
Let him
bro.
finish.
Let
He
me
say he
finish,
ain't done.
bro.
He say he ain't done.
Look,
Go ahead, guy.
I almost done, bro. Listen, I'm talking about that first stint with the Cavaliers where he had Mo Williams, Delonte West, and
Hmm.
Gallis, all those boys. None of the players was on the same level as Scottie Pippen. That's just a fact. That's not taking credit away from Michael Jordan, but I'm giving more praise to LeBron to what he did at a young age. Took his team to the finals with basically a bunch of garbage. You know what I
That's
mean?
cap.
But
Don't say that,
But go
bro.
ahead.
Don't say that, bro.
That's
Whoa,
cap.
hey,
Come
it
But go
too
is.
on.
ahead.
far.
Hey, it
Come
is
on,
what
Too
it
man. Don't
is.
say
Hey,
far.
they're
hey, hey,
garbage.
hey, hey.
Too
Come
far.
Bunch of
on,
garbage. That's
man.
what
I
it
We
is.
don't.
lost you there.
I don't
Too
know
All
how.
right,
far.
I
all right,
don't know how your
all
team.
right.
Hold on. Let me say this, y'all. Let me say this.
I'm in it
I
with
don't know
this.
how
I'm
your
in it with
team
this,
can be as
bro.
garbage as
I
y'all
will
say
end
that
it
first
with
team
this. Hold on. Slow
with
down.
Garbage.
the
I will
first
end it
team in
with this.
Cleveland.
How
With
many
the
Let
hold
him
years?
on,
finish. Let him finish, man. Let him finish.
Listen, no. Let me find. I'm almost done, bro. This is the only thing I'm gonna say. Yo, in that starting five that was in that '07 championship with the Cavaliers, how many years were they in the NBA after that year?
What does that
We
Mostly,
matter?
all drag him up.
no, mostly 3 out of the 5 starters was off that team or either out of the NBA,
What does that matter though?
Including Daniel Gibson.
Didn't
You know,
Verja play till like 2017 or something?
but he was never the same player. He wasn't a star. He wasn't starting 2 years later. That's what I'm saying.
He
All those
didn't
players
start
that
all
was
the
in that.
time on Cleveland.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. So the talent level on that Cleveland Cavaliers for LeBron to take them to the NBA Finals to get past the Pistons and all them great teams, you gotta at least give LeBron some credit and stop.
But that's a lie, man.
I hear what you're saying, but
can I give you the
the
context?
talent might not have been the
Can I give you
greatest,
the
but
context?
they had continuity and great coaching,
I give
and
him a
they
lot of
played
credit.
great
Had amazing
defense.
chemistry also. Let's not forget about the chemistry they had.
Listen, if you put Michael Jordan on that 2007 NBA Finals, I promise you, you would get the same result.
It's
Which Michael Jordan? Which Michael Jordan?
It's hypothetical. We're not doing hypotheticals. It's hypothetical. You don't know that, and I don't know that.
If you're talking
I'm
the
just
Doug
saying,
Collins, Michael Jordan, probably not. He's going to choke up a bunch of shots. Talking the first couple years
you
of
don't
the
know
field,
that, and I don't know that.
probably
So,
not. He ain't got Scotty. They ain't
But
they're playing a completely different offense.
Hold on. But this my thing, though. This my thing.
NBA Finals.
Everybody keeps saying how bad that Cavaliers team was in LeBron's first stint, but don't add context to when they say that. Because that same bad team y'all talking about was a top 5 defensive team in the NBA.
And they made it
that same bad team y'all talking about won 60+ games, 2 back-to-back seasons.
Wait, y'all said hold on. They did that in the
I
Week
don't
East, though.
understand
Remember?
how you
They did that in the Week East. They did it in the Week East. Y'all said, wait,
make that make sense.
Wait, no. Y'all said they did it in the Week East, though. They're supposed to do that in the Week East. What you mean?
But make that make sense, though. I ain't never seen a bad team win 60+ games in back-to-back seasons. I've never seen that, ever. Last time that happened.
That Cavaliers team still holds the record for most wins for the Cavaliers as a franchise.
They did it in the Week East, though. Like, so which is it?
Man, I don't make that argument. I don't make that argument. That's not my argument. You gotta take that. Hold on.
Yo, Chelsea,
so you saying all them 60 wins was against the East teams? They didn't play no West teams, just 60 wins against the East.
That's not what I'm saying. But y'all talking about what they did, but I'm talking about like it's a whole. They did it out of the Week East. So
but y'all can't have the both ways. You can't say the team garbage, then try to make that argument you try to make now.
Listen, I'm only using
You've been saying
that's what they do, Mingo.
Last week.
I never said the East was weak. I never said it. That's never been my argument.
Hey, listen, turtleneck. Then if it don't apply, let it fly like Delta. We're not talking about you. Then we're talking about the masses. And they said that LeBron did all this in the Week East, but then he went to the West and did the same thing. So it's like,
but he didn't get all.
Do the same thing in the West.
Hold on.
He didn't win 60+ games.
Hold on. He won in the East. Hold on. When he won in the East, y'all said he did it in the weak ass East. He went to the West and won. Just answer that. Did he win in the West? Did he win in the East? Yes or no?
Bro, he won in the West.
Yes or no?
No.
Turtleneck. Yes or no?
That's not
turtleneck. Yes or no?
You're moving the goalpost.
Turtleneck. Yes or no? Did he win in the East?
I don't want to hear that.
Did he win in the West? Did he win in the East and the West?
Hold on, Mingo. Hold on, y'all. Hold on, y'all. Does any of y'all claim Jordan won in a Week East? Because the East
that's
was
the question I had.
Hell no.
That's not a
Because he did it.
Hold on, no. But I'm just saying. Hold on, but I heard earlier one of y'all. I don't know who brought it up, but somebody said that the East was weak for LeBron. Which, you know what? There is probably some truth to that.
I said that.
But is there some truth to the fact that the East was weak with Jordan? I mean, the West was looked at as the more dominant side.
That was the toughest.
It was in the 90s.
Hold on. In the 90s, the West was better than the East for sure.
No.
Yeah.
I
disagree. It was
about the same, bro. It was stacked. Seattle,
the East
Warriors,
couldn't beat.
all them teams were stacked, bro.
Look at these niggas.
Oh, what teams?
Houston
played the Avengers.
The Knicks had Patrick
the
Ewing and
Knicks?
John
Are you
Starks.
kidding me?
That week.
The Knicks weren't that good offensively, but they were historically great defense. The Magic won 60 games. They had Shaq and Penny. The Heat won 60 games. They had 2 Hall of Famers.
I would be totally
the Pistons, the
What we're talking about is What we're talking about is on a year-to-year basis. Yes, there were years where Orlando got better, but when Orlando got better, a lot of other teams were down. So when the years were early in the 90s, when the Knicks were good. Okay, the Knicks were good, maybe the Pacers, but there weren't a lot of strong teams in the East at that time. So when Orlando was good that year in 95 or 94, what were the other teams in the East that were also dominant?
What about the Hornets?
No, they were never. The Hornets were never.
With Alonzo Mourning,
happened, man. Never
Larry
solid,
Johnson and
bro.
Muggsy
Bro,
Bogues.
y'all
They
watch
wasn't
the
that night.
highlights.
There's a
Y'all
reason
stupid.
why
Y'all
Zoe
watch
left that team
highlights.
immediately and went to Miami. Just saying.
And
Yeah,
I
bro. What are we
understand
talking
that,
about?
but they
And
were a
Larry,
good
Larry
team.
Johnson
They
went
were
to
No,
a
they
good
were
team.
not a good team. They were an expansion
No, they
team.
wasn't.
Nobody looked at them like they
Exactly.
were a threat. Come on, man. Y'all got to stop.
What are we
That's what I'm
The
saying.
talking
Bulls,
Y'all,
the
about,
Bulls and
man?
the
y'all,
Heat had 60 games plus.
okay, that was the Heat. The Heat were and it's okay. And that's I love that you said the Heat were a 60-win team. Did you ever consider the Heat a team that could win the championship?
Nope.
If the Bulls weren't
I
there, yeah.
mean,
That year with Zoe and
No,
Tim
come on, man.
Hardaway
Lamar, why
Yeah,
they
the
on that,
Panther
and
series
bro?
that
So
year.
so that
Lamar,
simply
why
means
they
that
on
winning
that,
60
Turner.
games.
bro?
So that simply means is winning 60 games isn't the end all be all. It means that you're okay, a good team, but it don't
Yeah,
necessarily mean you're a team that can go win a championship.
Yo, we
but you
saw the
can't
Atlanta
say that
Hawks win 60
you can't
games in
say
the
the
East,
East was
bro.
weak then.
Yo, we saw the
No, I'm
Atlanta
not. I'm
Hawks win
saying
60
I'm
games
not.
in the
I'm
East.
saying on a year to year basis, were there good teams in the East? Yes. Was the East ever as deep as the West in the 90s? No.
No, bro.
How
And that's
I'm
facts.
I'm
I
trying to
think they
understand
actually make
where
Jordan
are you
point then though.
correlating the depth of the
Because he won
West?
against the
Because the
West.
teams in the West, I never expected any of them to win.
No,
Any
the
of them.
only
I
reason,
didn't
the only
Seattle?
respect
reason, the
Utah.
only
You
I
didn't
reason
pick
didn't
why you,
respect
the
Seattle?
only reason
Houston.
why you
I didn't
never
respect.
expected,
I
the
didn't
only reason
respect
why you
Golden
never
State.
expected a team to win in the NBA in the 90s is because Jordan was playing.
Not true. Not
Because
true.
there's no team ever that you predicted that could beat the Bulls.
Not true.
Who?
Phoenix had a legit shot
No,
with
they
Charles
were one.
Barkley.
Just like the Seattle Supersonics, they were one of the biggest
Portland
underdogs in the
had a
NBA
legit
Finals.
shot.
Yeah.
Okay, but again,
Portland made it to
why
the
do y'all?
finals
But why do
twice.
y'all? But when y'all say that these teams have a legit shot, and then when we go back, remember the only
Yep.
reference that we can go to is look at the Vegas odds at the time. Why are these teams all significant underdogs? Not close underdogs where they had a shot. I'm talking about they are in the moment. The Vegas said this is a humongous underdog to the Bulls. They don't got a shot in hell to win it. So why, like Seattle? Seattle is one of the biggest underdogs in the NBA Finals ever in NBA history. Yeah, you
I
guys
don't
will
bring
tell
up
us
Seattle.
it was, but I'm just saying we can go to Seattle, we can go to Phoenix. And I think the team that had the closest shot by Vegas when they still an underdog was the Utah Jazz. But outside of that, the Bulls were favored to win every one of them
that's crazy.
Even with Houston
by a
as
large
well.
margin.
So if
Even
that's
with
the
Houston.
case, if there was
So, but
never a favorite
Yeah, so
coming out of
no,
the
the
but
West,
Western
so
teams were
how was the
favored.
West
no,
stronger?
but no, but what I'm
Because the
saying is,
Bulls,
all I'm saying is
they got the best player.
that tells me when I look at the odds, that tells me when y'all sit here and say, yeah, there were teams in the West we thought could beat the Bulls. That almost tells me that y'all capping a little bit.
There were teams in the West that could beat the Bulls.
Okay, then who?
I'm pretty. Wait, didn't Portland push them to 6 games?
Did
And
they win?
didn't Phoenix push them to 6 games?
Did they
Yeah,
So
win?
clearly,
every
it
team
wasn't
pushed them
like
to 6
the
games
Bulls was just
except for the
sweeping
Lakers.
everybody that came out the West. No, I mean
So
that's ingenious.
having a few letdown games and having a few
A
letdown
few
games.
hold on. You think Jordan was
I
having
mean,
letdown games?
I
yeah,
mean, he did
Jordan
get
had a lot
benched
of
in one of them
letdown games.
finals.
Oh,
He
okay.
did.
Hold
He
on,
did get
Yeah,
benched in one of
hold
them
on.
finals.
Jordan had a letdown game in Game 6 against Portland. Obviously, he finished the game off stronger and made it much better. But that's a game where Jordan got benched and Pippen had to lead the comeback.
Pippen
Jordan
saved
was
his
having.
legacy.
It's not like Jordan was just having these every time it showed up in the finals. He was having these hellified performances. Yeah, he was always gonna get his points. But y'all don't want to talk about when he got benched in Game 6 against that very Game 6, the closeout game. That was Pippen and the bench crew that brought
The
them back.
'96 finals was not his best finals.
No, I don't care about
Yeah,
that. But I'm
definitely
saying
was.
is like,
Yeah.
let's not act like he didn't have a stellar team around him and hellified coaching too. Like the trust that your coach has to have in the players to bench Jordan, and then you allow Pippen and the bench unit to lead the comeback because Jordan's out here selling the game. That's how you know they had a solid squad.
Yeah, but Lamont, they
So
make it
solid coach
honestly
too.
sound like
But y'all
it
won't
was
never
no
tell that
BJ.
story. But y'all won't never
There
tell that
was
story.
no BJ. There
Even
was
when
no
MJ
Horace.
retired, they won
There was
55 games, didn't they?
there was no Horace Grant. That's how
the
most
following
Jordan
year,
fans
yeah,
felt.
but the next year, the year he actually came back, the Bulls was looking like
And
doo-doo
did they
water.
beat the
That's why
Wait,
they
no.
Lakers?
was
No.
Wait.
praying for him to
So,
come back.
hold on. So you make my point though.
I mean, they look
Without
like Peter
Jordan, they
Waterman.
look
Orlando
strong.
smacked them around too. And then
Without
he
Jordan,
came
their
back for
second
that.
round
I think it's time
team
for
at
y'all to
best.
admit that it's LeBron's strengths that made the East look weak, dog. Because why was no one else dominating like that?
To respond to that, we're talking about the same East where AI and a bunch of role players got to the finals.
That's one
And
year.
Jason
That's
Kidd
one
and a
year.
bunch of role players.
That's
Yeah, 1 year
year.
LeBron
Stop.
got to the finals in the 2000s.
So why?
right?
Okay,
No,
so
but
then what
Go ahead.
made the East weak? Like it was Bron. Just like what made those teams he joined super teams was Bron.
No,
Wade and Bosh wasn't gonna win without them. Go ahead.
But my response is it wasn't like him that made it. We could just there weren't like a lot of the time was like a lot of 1-star teams with a bunch of role players. But even if you look at that 2007 finals run, I mean, have y'all seen those teams? When LeBron beat the
Paul
Pistons,
Pierce,
I know they didn't have
Antron
Ben
Walker.
Wallace, right? I know that.
Paul Pierce, Antron Walker.
Wait,
That
so
is
hold
a
on.
fact.
So it's
On the
hold on.
same
So
team.
now,
Yeah,
so now
but see
is he
again, we're
getting knocked
going
for
down a
playing where he
road.
played?
See, this is what I call the Bill Russell conundrum. Y'all now are arguing things that LeBron, Jordan, all these players can't control. LeBron cannot control who steps on that court. LeBron was just all he did was be born, go to the NBA, get drafted to the Cavs, not even by his own volition, and just start playing games. And then we knock him because other teams wasn't doing their job as far as building up their teams to make them competitive enough. These are things all we can judge these teams on and these players on, like, is who he played in the East. Did he beat them and did he get his team to the finals? And then how they do when they get to the finals, and we judge that. But sitting here trying to nitpick the other teams, if they weren't good enough, that's their problem. That's not LeBron's problem. His job is to go out there and win games. His job is not to sit around and wait until they get good and say, okay, you guys are ready to play now. Let's go because you guys are good enough now. His job is just go win. If they ain't ready, then that's their problem. So again, we talking about stuff that don't matter. It don't matter in the grand scheme of things. When we look back on this, nobody's gonna care how good the East was. They're just gonna care: did he win the Eastern Conference? Did he get through the East? Did he get to the final? And we'll judge that.
It matters under the context of if we're saying, oh, well, LeBron got to the finals in year 4 and MJ didn't. That's why it matters.
No.
No,
What it lends to is this. What it lends. I think when people compare Jordan at year 4 and LeBron at year 4, it lends to the fact that both of them were in similar situations, right? Really good players on teams that nobody thought were very good, but then two polar opposite things happen. Jordan's team still struggled because his game is really built around him and him making himself better, not necessarily making others better. And LeBron's game is built around him making others better, and he still can be great himself. That's just the difference in players. This is why you say LeBron could, like, even if you flip-flop those players, Jordan would struggle to win with those Cavs teams, while LeBron would probably have those guys overachieving. That's not a knock on Jordan. That's just Jordan's style of play.
I don't know about that.
Hold on, that's just Jordan's style of play versus LeBron's style of play. That's all it is. When Jordan saw that he had guys that weren't very good around him, Jordan shot the ball more. When LeBron saw he had guys like Boobie Gibson around him, nobody ever heard of him coming out of Texas. You know what he said? You know what? I'm gonna go ahead and give you this ball because I see you knocking down 53s in practice. I'm gonna see if you can make a few in the game, and I'm gonna let you go crazy. And then we're gonna do it as a team. So again, now, and it's just different styles of play. One style of play lends towards making bad teams a little bit better. Another style of play, Jordan's style of play, lends more towards taking a good team and making them an all-time great team, much, much higher than LeBron can. That's all it lends to.
I agree with that for sure.
Okay. Hey, if you put LeBron, his 50-win team, the 2007 Cavs, in the Western Conference, they play the Spurs and they would get swept. Okay.
Why are we doing this? Why are we doing this?
Oh, what do you mean? Why?
We doing hypotheticals? We doing hypotheticals?
It's a 50-win team, and if they were in the Western Conference, they would play the Spurs.
So let's put Jordan on those teams that Bron took to the finals. What's his record? Since we doing hypotheticals.
Ooh.
I think he could do just as good as LeBron, but I don't think
I got a
he wins the finals
hypothetical.
in
What if
2007.
Grant
But I
Hill
think
don't
he could
get injured and he stay with team?
Well, the one thing that we know is that
This is nonsense.
if Jordan did not have Phil Jackson in the triangle offense, he wasn't winning anything. That's the one fact we do know.
Yeah, I agree. I agree also too.
He was getting smacked in the 80s.
He won
Everything
50
matters.
games.
Everything
before
matters. You know, players,
smacked in the
chemistry,
80s. Remember
coach. Everything matters. Everything.
So now everything matters.
Is it any surprise to you guys that the only other guy in NBA history that tried to mirror Michael Jordan almost perfectly only could thrive in the triangle offense as well? He never won anything without it. That's how their games were built. The triangle offense was the offense. I keep telling y'all, triangle offense is one of the worst offenses in basketball. It is not a very good offense. It's really built. It's really only built towards making your star player that loves to shoot a lot happy. Because
if you don't believe him, look at the Knicks with Derek Fisher.
It forces that team to move the ball, because the only way the triangle works is with a ball reversal. What happens when you do a ball reversal? It's been statistically proven that off one ball reversal, your odds of scoring the basketball go up like 70%. So Phil Jackson said we need the ball reversal. The only way we can get it in is if we have a built-in ball reversal that goes to Jordan at the end of the shot clock. And in the era with illegal defense, that's who you want with the ball at the end of the shot clock, because nobody can bring significant help. So Jordan's just cooking. So that's why it was so successful, and it worked with Kobe. It worked with Jordan. But those two players also didn't have the versatility for their style to work outside of those systems. So we saw Kobe struggle in the D'Antoni system. When LeBron took elements of the D'Antoni system, he thrived in it with the pistol action.
So Lamar, are you saying Phil Jackson made them niggas?
No, I'm saying that style. Phil Jackson was smart enough to know what culture? The egos of his players. He knew that. For me, he said, because of their massive egos, because of their ability to take a ton of bad shots, and because of their in some cases lack of wanting to pass to other teammates, they have to create a system where they can take a ton of bad shots and still be efficient to a certain degree.
Hey, Lamar,
that's all the triangle is. That's why the triangle never worked with. You can't name me another team in NBA history that ran the triangle for an entire year. We've seen teams try it and they immediately throw it in the garbage can. No other team.
You got to have a certain type of players too. It ain't gonna work with any other team.
Don't.
To push back on that.
No, you don't.
Yes,
No, you do not. No, you do not.
Yes, you do.
No, you do not.
You have to be intelligent
to
run the triangle.
Niggas
Because
up here
there's so much
arguing with a
movement
coach.
and cutting that you don't know.
First of all, but you're talking to somebody. I know the triangle through and through. One thing about the triangle is essentially a 4-out 1-in offense. That's essentially what it is. The goal of it is to literally create triangles on one side of the floor. Only works with a ball reversal. There's not a ton of cutting. There's a ton of ball movement. There's not a ton of cutting. The triangle's predicated on the guys on the weak side staying where they are. They're not cutting. They're not doing a lot of moving. The guys on the weak side are staying pat, and they're allowing the guys on the strong side to operate in their triangle. And in an era that Jordan played in with illegal defense, that's what made him essentially unguardable, because with 8 seconds on the shot clock and all guys are sitting here worried about illegal defense, cannot come. If they go too early, what is Jordan doing? Kicking it out to Steve Kerr, Tony Kukoc, guys that are knockdown shooters. If they don't go, then he has some of the greatest individual one-on-one matchups we ever seen, because nobody in the 90s could guard Jordan one-on-one. You would need to guard with multiple players.
That's my point. You have to have the right team composition.
No, so the way the Bulls, because they still ran the triangle when Jordan left in 155 games. So you can run the triangle, and they had different personnel then. So again, it's your point of attack changes when Jordan leaves, because their point of attack changed from attacking from the elbow to Pippen attacking from the top of the key, making decisions from the top of the key.
Correct.
So the only thing that changed is the point of attack. There's like 5 different points of attack out of the triangle. It changes based on who your best players are and what their skill sets are. That's why the Lakers with Kobe and Shaq and Kobe could thrive. Why? Because Shaq had one of the elements of the triangle, which is the post or the high post. Kobe had the wing, and then you would always have a shooter. You know, the Rick Foxes, the Devin George, the Derek Fixers in that other strong side corner. So now you have your triangles complete. And now it's about, and then when I want y'all to look, the triangle gives your best player all of the shots. And Phil Jackson ran it beautifully in LA, but who took all the shots in LA? Kobe and Shaq. When you look at the scoring numbers, Kobe and Shaq averaging like 27, everybody else 9, 7, 6, nobody. So the triangle, what it does is the triangle pisses off. The reason why it's not runnable is because in a day and age where everybody's trying to get paid, the triangle pisses off guys trying to make a name for themselves. So this is when they tried to run it in New York, and you got these young guys out here, and then all of a sudden they looking at one guy and Carmelo Anthony shooting all the shots. I'm like, damn, I can't get mine. What's going on? So times change, players change. Some of these guys got incentives to hit in their contract, can't hit the incentives because Carmelo getting all the shots, and the game was too slowed down. That's why the triangle didn't work.
Lamont, drop the link. Somebody saying you speaking nonsense. Maybe they could
Bro.
teach
All
you
right,
something.
bro. All right. Well, they can take their team and play against mine. And I want them to try to run the triangle the whole game.
I mean, it's pretty simple. MJ
I
took
mean,
all the
if they got a
shots
great big man and a bunch of shooters around them, it can work.
It works to try. One, it takes a super strong will coach, and number two, it takes players to buy in. I remember when I was debated this with Chill, I said the reason why it's not a good offense is because it's extremely difficult to convince players to buy into not shooting. You're going to have really good players not taking no shots. They're going to have to buy into that. They're going to have to buy into playing a slow pace. They're going to have to buy into their numbers all dropping. Derek Fisher was fine with his numbers dropping. Why? Because he knew he was going to have a job a long time in LA playing next alongside Kobe. So guys are fine. Yeah, but again, there's some guys that want to get paid.
True. That's why I say it takes the right. You got to have the right kind of players to run the triangle.
But
you don't have those types of players.
You can't do that.
But no, you need the right type of mentality. Skill wise, you can put
skill wise and mentality.
No, skill wise,
no, not skill wise.
Skill wise, you can give me any 5 guys. If they buy into it, I can exploit you. My best player is gonna exploit you somewhere in the triangle. It's just about getting people to buy into it. Nobody buys into it.
If you run a triangle with Shaq, Sean Marion, let me get decent small forward.
Big brother, Jordan had the Williams boys, Luke Longley, and you.
What I'm saying is, you have to have the right personnel to run a triangle.
Jordan had a whole bunch.
Just run out 5 dudes.
Hey y'all, did y'all know that? Did y'all know that Phil Jackson would find his bigs for taking threes? See, the point of the triangle was to have Jordan take all the shots.
Correct.
And the point of the triangle when Kobe and Shaq were there was Kobe and Shaq take all the shots. And other guys got to be great at catch and shoot and got to be great without having the ball in their hands. Getting teams to buy into that today does not work. And especially in today's game, now that teams have gotten much better with the zone. And if you go too heavy ISO into the triangle, the zones are going to light you up now.
Yeah, the zone will eat up the triangle right now. But it's not a terrible – like I said, if you got the right pieces, the triangle is going to look beautiful. But you got to have the right pieces.
I don't know.
If you take
it's
Shaq,
not too elaborate.
If you take Shaq in his prime and you drop him with KD and the Warriors and they run a triangle, ain't no team that's going to be able to stop them. Not one team.
Yeah, but that's Shaq in his prime. Shaq in his prime in almost any system is going to be Shaq in his prime. Shaq in Orlando. Shaq was one of the worst coaches in NBA history, in Orlando, and he was dominant. Like Shaq is going to be dominant in any system. I don't care how you whip it up. Like you can put him in any system. Dominance is going to be dominant.
You can take any top 10 big and run a triangle.
No,
but the thing is, they'll run through anybody.
Hey, y'all, but what did D'Antoni show you? D'Antoni said, give me any point guard, and I'm gonna make him look like a star. You literally look at the guys that D'Antoni turned into stars in this league or really good players just by playing under him. Guys that were nothing before. Steve Nash was nothing in Dallas.
D'Antoni don't win in the playoffs.
It don't matter. But what I'm saying is that system adapts so well to players that it makes guys like Nash look like league MVPs. That's how good that system is.
But it don't work in the playoffs.
It don't
the
matter.
Triangle worked in the playoffs.
Again, hold on. But there was only one team with the players. If only one team in the league can run the triangle efficiently, how is it a good offense? If you have to have a Shaq, Kobe, or Jordan to run it, how is it a good offense? So you literally need a generationally great player to run it.
Well, but he's making it sound like Jordan had all-star centers, and he did not have all-star centers.
No, not at all. No,
but you just make it sound like you need that to run that offense, and that's the false.
No. If that's the impression I'm giving you, I apologize. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, all right, relax, homie. What I'm saying is that you have to have a main scorer. Whether it's a big, whether it's a wing, it could even be a point guard. That's the main scorer. You got to have one main guy. Like I said, you can take any top 10 big, drop them with the Warriors, and run a triangle, and they'll blow anybody out. You can take
No, that's
You're
not
talking
true.
about some of the greatest shooters of all
Hell
time
no.
with a dominant big
Okay,
man.
name. Give me a big that it wouldn't work with Lamar.
Okay,
Give me a big.
like we'll take a David Robinson. You put David
Okay.
Robinson in a triangle. He's not. He's
That
not
wouldn't work.
winning championships with it.
You don't think
He
because
wasn't
his
good at passing
offensive,
out the middle.
And the reason, especially
his offensive
and
skills,
it wouldn't
wasn't
work. It wouldn't work in the '90s. No.
in today's
He wasn't that.
basketball, it would because there's not enough bigs to be able to challenge him. But in the
No,
'90s, I agree with you. I agree with that.
Hey, he's
David
not doing it
wasn't
in
that
this
good
game.
of a
No way in
passer.
hell today's game. Dave Ramsey is not good enough talent wise, and because he's not good enough. He can't face up. He couldn't face up. He couldn't do
What?
that. No, hell no.
That's what David Robinson did. He did face up. That was his game. Wasn't no back to the
That was
basket.
actually one of
dude.
his biggest criticisms. Yeah, he said he faced up too much.
The face up that I'm not even on that.
He
David
was like-
Robinson wasn't a good passer out of like
You ain't got to be in
keep
it.
the
The
ball
big doesn't
moving
have to be a great passer for the triangle because with the triangle, you know where everybody's at. You know
have
where
to be
they.
a great passer in a triangle.
That's what made
Especially
Shaq.
a
That's
big.
how Shaq made it shine so well. When it came to Chicago centers didn't get
Right.
the damn ball.
Yeah, they weren't.
That's the
good enough
difference.
Mm.
Think about it now, OG. For real. Think about it. Luke Longley, what was his average? Trash. The Williams boys, what was their average? Trash. What was the All-Star?
Bro, you just bro. There's a reason why. Like, do y'all really believe that Phil Jackson wasn't able to get better talent on that Bulls team? He went and got guys.
that's
I'm just saying he went and intentionally, like when he was with the Lakers and the Bulls, he went and intentionally got guys like the Luke Longleys, guys that he knew were high IQ but would not demand the ball a lot because they needed a certain caliber or an IQ of player to be around Jordan. It couldn't be guys that wanted the ball. It couldn't be guys that cared about scoring. They had to be selfless. The only person that was allowed to be selfish was Jordan. And same thing with the Laker team. The only two players that could be selfish were Kobe and Shaq. Outside of that,
isn't that like what most teams? Like the two stars and then other people is complimentary players?
Not like that. Not like
Kobe and
Shaq.
Shaq. Kobe and Shaq was ridiculous. Two guys averaging 27 and nobody else averaging double figures. Come on.
And OG, I'll point this out.
That was by design.
The last All-Star with Jordan, you had Bill Cartwright, who was even on the Bulls, and he's the last All-Star to actually get into it with Michael. Well, Phil was the one that said, "No, I need you to fall back on this one." Because a lot of people didn't even remember that
George,
Cartwright
you gotta
was their
echo.
All-Star.
You got to echo, George. You got to fix that. You're on an Android phone. You need to put some headphones on.
So with you saying that you almost made it sound like it had to be an all-star type center to run that type of offense, and that's the perception that you was giving off. So
Bro,
then when I
you need an all-star to run an offense, it's not a good offense.
No, I'm talking about the center position though. He wasn't talking about the scoring position of the triangle. He was talking about the center position specifically. So when I bring up those names, it is everybody was on the downhill or barely able to be in the NBA. Because remember, Indiana actually had the Davis boys, just like Chicago had the Williams boys, and the Davis boys used to pummel them boys every game. I'm lying?
Nah, the Davis boys used to pummel everybody.
But they pummeled them, right? So
Yeah, they
by
did.
how many games did Indiana win against Chicago overall with the Williams boys, with the Davis boys? Chicago won more, right?
Correct.
So with the way that you was presenting it at first, that's the part where I had pushback because you was trying to make it seem like it had to be a all-star caliber big. And
No, again, that wasn't my intention. I was just giving Shaq or Lamar said David Robinson. I was using those as examples, but it could have been Carmelo. It could have been T-Mac.
Yeah,
it could have been.
Remember the triangle. The triangle works off of what? It's the three-player combination that makes it work. You can put David Robinson or a great center anywhere all you want, but if the other two don't run the design or whatever the coach wants to see out of the triangle properly, if they don't have the skill sets, it ain't gonna look right, man. It's just not gonna look right. Any team can run pistol because pistol exploits a lot of different things. Triangle doesn't really exploit enough in today's game with the zones. It doesn't exploit enough for it to be that much of a threat. Actually, when we see the Lakers run elements of the triangle, it looks bad because they have AD on that low post. As soon as he touches it, because of the lack of movement, when they're running that 5-out offense and they dive him in, it looks like a triangle. It's hard. AD looks like he's fucking pulling teeth to score a bucket over 2 and 3 players because it's not, bro. It just it is.
think AD is a
Kobe
good
and
post-up
Gasol
player
running
either,
good.
though.
But if I may add, Jordan also had 3-point shooting champions on his team also.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Bro, we serious right now. This is what we doing
That's
now.
what I'm Kerr taking what the
Hey,
same
y'all
amount of
gotta
threes as him
stop,
can?
man.
I'm saying
It's
for
Kerr,
the
Steph
kick
Curry.
out.
Y'all gotta stop, man.
It's Curry Allen.
So BJ wasn't good.
You know, Steve Kerr has the highest 3-point percentage in NBA.
Yeah, that's
history.
sure. On
Yeah,
very
only
low
attempted
volume.
like 2 attempts a game.
Very low
What we
volume.
do?
Hold on.
That's
What
not
are we
discrediting
talking
him,
about?
but it's just a fact. Even for the 90s, that's low volume.
Do y'all know how hard it is as a shooter on a few touches to be that efficient?
You can't warm
So
up. You got to
BJ
come in
wasn't good.
ready to
You
go.
got me? Y'all like as a shooter, if anybody's played, I want you to go onto a basketball court. All you get is 2 to 3 looks at it per game, and you gotta after 82 games, you gotta be 40%. That's hard. Catch and shoot is
So
not
Lamar,
easy.
let me ask you this question then, since you brought up this. Just cause Steve Kerr has a higher 3-point percentage, so that means he's a better shooter than Steph Curry.
No,
that what you telling me?
Right.
no, because it's Steph Curry's
that's what
versus.
you just said.
No,
That's what you just said.
No, I'm saying his percentage makes him a really good shooter. I'm saying
Exactly.
that when Steph Curry's
Not on high volume though.
Steph Curry's versatility and percentage make him the better shooter. So he can shoot more or wider range of threes. He's not just catch and shoot. Steve Kerr was limited. When you're talking about what the Bulls needed, the Bulls didn't need a Steph Curry. The Bulls just needed a catch and shoot, somebody who was elite with the catch and shoot.
They needed Clay.
Who was the most elite catch and shoot in the league at that time? Craig Hodges and who else? Steve Kerr. Catch and shoot. Maybe you can name a few other guys, Dale Ellis, but outside of that, they had some of the best in the league on
Mark
that team
Price.
for a reason.
Yep.
How many points did Steve Kerr average for his career?
So
single digits.
Phil Jackson went and found the best of what he needed.
Yeah.
He needed he needed one of the best catch and shoot guys for the triangle. He went and got one. He needed one of the highest IQ bigs that wouldn't demand the ball a ton, and Luke Longley, he went and got him. He needed a guy when he needed to go get Dennis Rodman, super high IQ, would defend and would definitely did not care about scoring. He went and got Rodman. He had a horse brand before.
Isn't that how teams work? They got Aaron Gordon for Jokic's defensive liability. They got Mark to be an other star. That's how teams are built. You're just naming how a team is built. I don't understand what you're
But they understood their responsibilities as they don't look to score. They look at the pass.
Yeah, you're going to get a player that your team needs.
John, here's the element, John. That one thing that I like to take into consideration that a lot of people don't take into consideration is this. I understand that teams will try to build like that. What complicates that when you try to build that way is now when you get those guys, you have to get them to buy into that role. A guy in Aaron Gordon who, when he got drafted, he was supposed to be the face of the franchise in Orlando. Now, when you bring him into Denver, he no longer can play like he's the face of a franchise. He now has to be just a role player that's just doing role player-ish things. And when you relegate yourself to that role, you in turn also devalue yourself. So now when you accept a lesser role in the NBA, like if you accept a 6-man role, this is why you see so many players push back against these lesser roles. You put yourself in a category where you're like the Lou Williams. The man never made $10 million in one season because once he accepted that 6-man role, no matter how good he was, no matter how many big games he put up, he placed him, he valued himself as a sixth man. And this is why players don't like getting boxed in. So now when you bring these guys in and you try to relegate them to this roles, now you have to be a good enough coach to get them to buy into it. And see, and that's the difficulty in these systems that we're talking about. How do you get all of these guys to buy in with the landscape of the NBA today? These young guys want to get paid. So now you have to take that in consideration. Then you have to manage the egos. So
it's different today. If you're a good six man, you're still going to get paid. You're going to get paid a lot.
But when you're a good six man today, you know the numbers look different compared to the past. But I guarantee you, those six man numbers don't look nothing like the max deals that these players on the starting lineup are getting.
Yeah. Of course, but I'm saying like, even if you're a good six man right now, you're making a lot of money.
No, you're making, but that's just that's just the money in the league's going up. So yeah, it's making more money compared to the 90s. But when you scale it, the six men in the league aren't making max dollars. They're not making super max dollars. They're not making the money that you see most of these really good players in the starting lineup.
Who's the best six man in the league right now?
Shit, I don't even know.
What's my man on the Utah Jazz?
You talking about
Jordan
Clarkson?
Yeah.
No, he's definitely not on max deal.
No, he's not on max deal, but I think what's his contract? He probably got a good contract.
I can pull
He got a pretty good contract.
Wait a minute, but it just say Claxton. Claxton start.
No,
okay, hold on. Jordan Clarkson signed 4-year, $51 million deal. So he's making what, about $12 million a year? Yeah, about $12 million a year.
Yeah.
Same thing Austin Reeves.
Hold on, that's not a lot in today's game. That's not a lot.
Yeah, that's not a lot. Yeah, in today's game is not a lot. But it's a lot.
The league
Hold on, who was six man of the year?
But Lamont, Austin Reeves got the same thing that Jordan Clarkson is getting. He a starter. Austin Reeves is a starter.
Austin Reeves is a starter because they haven't found a guy good enough to put him as his normal role as a six man. That's all. Because we just saw last game what they do. They benched his ass and said, "Nah, you're gonna help us close, but you definitely not starting. Your defense, you out here getting cooked early in games. We can't start games right." So again, you're gonna get paid based on who you are. And when I'm telling you, when these guys relegate themselves to a role, they stuck. And remember Brunson. I want you to look at Brunson's first contractual offer from the Dallas Mavericks. They offered him six-man money. What did Brunson say? He said, "I ain't no goddamn six man." He said, "And I'm gonna go somewhere that ain't gonna treat me like no six man behind Luka."
Yeah,
and he went to the Knicks.
That playoff run really got him that money.
But what happened? Run for us. I know, but so what he did was he said, "Y'all want to pay me like I'm a six man." Yeah. He said, "I don't believe I'm a six man." He says, "If I accept this deal, I'm setting the tone for the rest of my career on what teams pay me." So he said, "I'm going to buy into myself. I'm going to show you I'm not a six man. I'm going to leave, and I'm going to have a team pay me like I'm not a six man."
But let's be real, though. If he had not had that run for us that he had, nobody was going to pay him that money that he was looking for.
That playoff run helped him.
Yeah, but even with that playoff, even before the playoff run happened, the Dallas Mavericks had already offered him that contract. So because he was coming off the bench behind Luka, they valued him. Yeah, and let's not act like. Remember, they saw Brunson in practice. They saw him more than we did. They knew that man could cook. It's one of the reasons why they offered him that contract early. They was really trying to get him on the low. But what happens is when you are coming off the bench
for cheap.
Yeah, what happens is when you're coming off that bench and you're behind another player, your value changes, and so if he signs that deal, that means he's accepted that role of a six man.
If he really could have just took the deal then, but like you said, like nigga went on a run, and he like, all right, fuck it, I'm going to New York because
But he bought into himself, and that's what a lot of players today do. They kill their value. Like Austin Reeves, he's smart for taking that deal because Austin Reeves truly is like an 8 to 12 man, not a 6 to 7 man.
But you don't think he could have gotten more after last year's playoff run? You don't think he
remember everybody was saying he can get $100 million. There's a reason why no other team stepped in and gave not one offer.
Because I think he could have went to San Antonio. I think that's what he was saying.
No, but if San Antonio wanted him, San Antonio would have put an offer sheet out there, and they did not.
Okay. I thought they did.
No, they did
No,
not.
they didn't.
Because if they put an
They
offer
didn't.
sheet out there, the Lakers would have had to match.
Would they have to match? Yeah, you're right.
Remember with Aiden. Aiden's a starter in Phoenix.
But this my
right?
thing though.
The Pacers offered him big money.
But this my
Phoenix
thing though.
Suns did not
Why
want to pay
would
that shit. They paid it though. They had to match.
And San Antonio.
But this my
played
thing though.
point
Why did the
guard
Mavericks? Why did
over
the
100
Mavericks
mil.
go?
You say what?
But this my thing. Why would the Mavericks organization try to treat Jalen Brunson like that when he won 2 playoff games?
No.
Without Luka, he won playoff games
because we didn't see
by
that.
himself, not by himself. But you know what I mean.
But you got to think it's their job to save money, though, right? Like nobody wants to pay the max. They don't have
because Mingo Jester.
Man, save money, nigga. You pay me. I do my job and you pay me.
I know, but Mingo Jester, it doesn't matter. If you're coming off the bench, in the NBA, you're not getting $100 million. That's in this league.
Yeah,
if you're coming off the bench,
that's true.
You're not getting $100 million. And so that's all they were saying.
I agree.
And by the contract that they offered him, basically told him, "You gonna still be coming off the bench." The money kind of told him what his role
with
is.
Dinwiddie.
Let's be
They
real.
tried to
Nobody
off
saw that coming.
Dinwiddie low too.
Remember, the money starts in the NBA. The money is over talent. Money over because there was a story that there was an NBA player, man. I'm trying to remember his name. He was with the Nuggets. He was on a podcast today. Man, I wish I could remember his name, but he was talking to, I think it was Podcast P. He was talking to them guys. He was with the Denver Nuggets a while ago. I'm gonna remember his name here in a minute. But he was like, man, I was playing really good, man. I'm killing. My numbers is up. But he says they called me into the front office and the coaches were like, you playing crazy. You playing good. But we might not be able. Yeah, the guard. Remember what he said? He said they called him into the office and said, you know what? You might not be playing for the rest of the year.
Ty Lawson?
No, not Ty Lawson.
Bones Highland?
Moutier?
Yeah, Manuel Moutier. Yeah. But he was like, they called me in there and said, you playing great. We love what you're doing, but you're probably not going to play for the rest of the year. He's like, dang, what?
Okay.
He's like, we got another guy making X amount of dollars. That's got to get your spot. The money plays in the league. It's a business, y'all. That's what happens.
Is James Harden the last guy to kind of break through that glass ceiling for somebody that started as a 6-man and was able to go beyond that?
You mean OKC?
No, but he had to go to a different team, though.
He had to go to a different team to get paid. He had to go to a different team to get paid.
Yeah,
I mean,
if he would have stayed with the same organization, that would
Same
be
thing,
the best argument.
Just
But
imagine
with
if the
him
Thunder would've kept
leaving,
that
going to
squad
a
together.
different organization, that's where it differs.
You think so? Because like I say, Lou Will is the guy who was
that's the same thing.
Virtually a 6-man everywhere.
Yeah, but Lou Will never made over $10 million a year in his career.
That's what I'm saying. Is James Harden the first guy to not only be starting off as a 6-man?
But remember, James Harden was still on that rookie deal, though.
No, wait a minute. Now,
wasn't it?
I know.
No.
Had he already re-signed?
He was still on his rookie deal. When he left, he honored the contract.
In the field of the season, I think Lou Will was in clip when he played with the Clippers.
And then OKC didn't want to match over $2 million. It was just $2 million
Right. OKC did not match the deal. That is why he signed with Houston.
And that's why he signed with Yep.
But he did honor his rookie deal throughout the contract. There was no trade.
Hey, remember KD said, I forgot what podcast he was on. He was like, we essentially had one of the first super teams in OKC broke it up over $2 million. I guess he was talking about one of the reasons why he left.
Yes,
bro. They would have at least had 2 rings, like if they would have kept that squad together. Like, that's on
but I talk about organizations, man. Organizations being cheap, man, to kill you.
Yeah, because Ibaka was in his prime at that point. Like he was a defensive, talent. So
I can't believe they rather paid Ibaka than James at that point. But
you still don't need to join the team that beat you. That's crazy.
Yeah, well, who cares, bro? I do that shit all the time at the YMCA.
Hey, we need one more.
Look, hey, you know that, yeah. Hey, the team that just put you off. Hey, Mont, we need one. Hell yeah, let me get on. Fuck that. Shit, motherfuckers be doing that shit all the time, man.
But Lamont,
that's
and I'm gonna talk
Lamont,
shit to my teammates that I was just running with.
Hey, so you wouldn't do that? What Kevin Durant did, DP?
Hell no.
DP, you wouldn't do that? No, I'm talking about the other guy, the guy with the DP logo. He wouldn't. If you were Kevin Durant, you would not go to the Warriors.
Hey, bro, listen, I'm gonna tell you this,
bro. That should be fun as hell, bro.
If I had a chance to be not only get paid, right, like get big money and win a ring, yes, I don't care what y'all say. Y'all niggas be in the comments chatting. That shit ain't changing what KD doing. That shit ain't changing his life.
All right.
But like, what you mean?
Hey, yeah, we gotta wrap up our points because I gotta knock this show out. I gotta go ahead and end this one. But I do appreciate y'all pulling up. Minor, definitely want to get you on more, man. I appreciate it. And Benjamin Franklin up here. Pootie, you got to come on more. And John,
Hey,
I know you didn't get all your thoughts in today, John, but definitely want you back up here when we start cooking, man. I know a lot of people was just a little heated, man. I'll do a better job of next time of moderating this so everybody get their takes off a little cleaner, man.
I'll see you niggas at the top.
Hilarious.
Oh man, Dreamers Pro man came with a classic. Man. That was wild.
That was a class. That was probably your
Dreamers
most
Pro
lit episode.
basically destroyed the whole live. He basically destroyed everybody in there.
I know you would say that, Pooh.
That nigga been dropping LeBron videos ever since he left here.
Bro, he didn't went super strong on the LeBron video. I said Dreamers Pro crazy. I mean, I'm talking about we didn't ramped up his fervor against LeBron. Now he about to kill LeBron now, bro. We shouldn't have did that, man.
That nigga said, yo, what's your first name and your last name and your social, son? Where you from,
Dreamers Pro is crazy, man. Dreamers Pro, man. Salute to Dreamers Pro, though, man. Like I said, one of the few that actually pulled up. Salute to Alex, man. He pulled up, man. He wasn't just a chat warrior. Same with Pootie. Everybody in the chat, man. That's why I try to tell people, man, this is, this panel here is it's for everybody, man. It ain't just for no one side or nothing like that, man. We all come up here and cook, man. I don't really care, man. I don't take sides too much.
Yeah, me neither. I don't take sides because, like I said, LeBron's a great player. He's top 10, yes. So there's no hate, there's no animosity, there's nothing like that. We just
Alex,
we're splitting
salute
hairs,
you for getting cooked. You got cooked and you stayed up here, bro. Like, salute to that. You didn't go through no meltdown.
He took that ass looking like a man.
Right.
I don't know whether he got cooked or not, but yeah.
No, I feel like I still have a lot to say, but it's all good, man. It's
nah, come back though, for real.
Back and forth, whenever it's fine. I just got lucky right now when I turned on the YouTube app and I seen that you guys were on. I was like, well, let me write some shit and see what happens.
Man, I appreciate you pulling up, though, man.
Have a good night, though.
Right on.
Salute to you guys. But I'm gonna go ahead and drop you guys down again, man. I'll be going live tomorrow morning. So again, for a lot of you guys on the East Coast, it'll probably be the afternoon, but I'm gonna be going live tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. if you're on the West Coast. So if you guys see me live, man, definitely pull up, man. We're gonna have some more topics, man. We're probably gonna do some fantasy talk, some prize picks, some FanDuel, get our picks off, man. See what the landscape is with that as well. But again, appreciate you guys pulling up. I'm gonna go ahead and drop you guys down. Salute to Pootie, Ben. Oh, my bad, Minor. Go ahead.
I was gonna say good luck on Black Friday, bro.
Oh, you look, man. I don't know, man. Good luck. I mean, look, I don't have nothing bad to say about Damo. I just don't know him. I have never had a conversation with him, really. I think I maybe have talked to him outside of yesterday. I might have talked to him one time. I really don't see him enough to know his takes. I just know when I hear his takes, it's not really like I'm hearing super in-depth takes or anything like that, but I don't know what to say about him. I just don't even know him.
From what I've seen of Damo, he's super modern. So he's always going to go modern versus the older players. And that's the way with a lot of
I've seen that as well. I think he's another he's a LeBron is the GOAT guy.
Yeah.
So look, again, I don't knock that, but I just like I told him, I said from when I hear you talk, it definitely sounds very general. Like it's not really like I don't know if he can dive deep like some of us, like me and you was talking about the triangle. I don't know if he can do. I don't know if he got that in him.
I think Damo played ball, so he should.
Oh, I saw a video of somebody sent me a video of him playing ball.
I seen that.
The man definitely did. He might play, but he never played. Like when we say played, you got to have been on. I don't think he played. Like he will get in the gym and try to. But look,
he'll shoot around. Is what you're saying?
Yeah, he definitely. If you need an extra at the YMCA, we got you. Hey, come on, man. But other than that, man, I don't know. I mean, but look, I know he's gonna try to come up here and make it entertaining and try to play to the crowd. because the facts, like with the topics that we have, I could tell you guys. Remember, we needed an extra topic, and so this last topic, this is where I know I'll destroy him. The last topic that we came up with is we're going to use the Lakers this year, and we're going to have to we're going to act like we're the GM of the team, and we have to offer up suggestions that are realistic to make the team better.
Ooh, I like that.
And I just that's just right up my alley. Like that just fell right into my bag of tricks right there. So that I know the cap. I know the buyout markets. I know how these things, like the ins and out. And I know, and the one thing I do know is I also know how to explain it in a short amount of time as well. So just based on that alone, man, it's just like, and then with the topic with Bill Russell, I believe I can edge him out in that one. I know the fans, I know for a while now, there's been a narrative on Players' Choice that Mars has been pushing that Bill Russell isn't top 10 or something. But
that wasn't Morris is pushing that.
It was somebody up there was pushing in there, but he's not in the top 10.
That's his partner in crime, Dub. But
yeah, one of them. And it's just like I don't like I said earlier, I don't punish players for who they had to play against. I just judge you based on what you did against your own comp.
Yeah.
And how you measured up against them, because if we get to trying to measure up all of them players from the 60s and 70s versus players of today, we won't rank none of them. Because none of them's game were as elaborate as what we see today. So that's just
different eras, different rules. Yeah, it's impossible to judge.
But I got some tricks up my sleeve for that one that I'm gonna pull out, and then even with our other topics. So we'll I got something cooked.
Oh yeah, I'll be in the comment section. I'm looking forward to that, man.
Yes, sir, man. But look, let me go ahead and drop Mingo down. Salute to Mingo for pulling up.
You have a good one, bro.
Yes, sir, Minor man. Hope to see you again when we go live again.
Oh yeah, I'll pop back in.
Yes, sir. All right, y'all, man. FYF Sports, man. Another great show, man. Appreciate you guys pulling up, man. Look, we're going to be going live tomorrow. Make sure you tune in, man. We're going to try to not take any lapses. We're going to try to keep these streams coming, especially throughout the week. Look at George. He's still in the chat. George, just make sure next time you connect your headphones. If you got some headphones, connect your headphones, because if you don't use headphones, it's going to be a massive echo if you got an Android device. Salute to Brendan in the chat as well. Rundown Productions, man. Appreciate you guys. A lot of you guys are new names I haven't seen before. So, man, make sure y'all hit the sub button, support. And like I said, when we go live, man, don't hesitate to hit that link to join, man, because we want to hear from everybody that pulls up here to FYF Sports. But again, appreciate everybody. Rebranded. You're gonna have to take the Dreamers Pro logo off, man. You confusing everybody with the Dreamers Pro logo. It's crazy. You gotta like throw a little emoji in there or something to switch it up. You said Russell's gonna be phased out due to time. I mean, if that's how you rank your top 10, I can't knock you for phasing players out due to time. My top 10 is primarily based on how you dominated against your own era. So my top 10 is going to give some of those guys of old just a tinge more credit. Yeah, burner account. It's unfortunate for Damo that he got matched up for me. But, it is what it is. But, I expect him to come and try to be dramatic and try to – he's going to try to act like but it is what it is. I just don't think he has the foundation and knowledge to or the creativity to contest anything that I'm saying. I believe burner account. I believe he's going to spend more time trying to convince people that my arguments are wrong, as opposed to even talking about his own side of any one of the arguments. I think that's his only avenue. His only avenue would be to not speak on anything and just to try to attack my arguments, because his arguments standing side by side with my arguments, they don't stand next to each other. So let me go ahead and wrap this one up, y'all. Hold on. We got rebranding. Hold on. What else we got? Go James. Salute to Go James, man. Look, and salute to all the donors of the channel, man. You guys see it scrolling across the bottom of the screen. Everybody that supports the channel, man, I appreciate you guys. If you want to get added to that list, man, of just supporters, man, just hit the Cash App to support, man. But again, it's FYF Sports, man, but another great podcast episode. We're going to be back with more sports and news. Until then, man, it's FYF Sports. And we out.
Yeah, we done came from the bottom, mad that we up, but I don't hear him talking. Started with knowledge inside of my noggin. We took a dream and then we started vlogging. Put my city on the map now. I'ma say how it is and I don't back down. On the road to 100K, we finna act out. We gon' show them that we not just in the background. We the main event, we the main show. We the one that people always gonna pay for. FYF, we the best, no debate though. Number one sports channel, every angle. I'ma show them all how we ride. Best sports talk show, we not like them guys who playing it safe while they feather the lines. We pushing the narrative all the time. Like who to go in the game is not MJ. Kobe Bryant top 10, not what we say. Hakeem Olajuwon is very overrated. Keep it real, if it ain't fact, we don't say it. Now it's stable, we won't be ignored.
Missing the liquor, I'm missing the draws again, a hell of pain. I got a lot to deal with and my mind is kinda slipping away. What's on the line? I made up my mind, some shit I'll just taste it great. Whatever it is, whatever it was, it's never gonna be the same. How do I explain what's been going on with me? You say that I changed, but you didn't know the old me. I think that I saved you, tell me who gon' save me. I'm way too fucked up in this club, I'm ashamed, baby. You say that I changed, but you ain't really know me. When I'm around my dogs, girl, they just can't control me. Trying to spend my time right, using every second of it. Trying to spend my time right, using every second of it. Before it's too late, girl, before it's too late. Can I speak my mind right, girl, before it's too late. I've been moving backwards, rolling up the backwards. Out of being best, do you have my back, girl? Before it's too late, can I say my piece, girl? Girl, know what you mean to me. You just keep it real with me. I've been moving backwards, rolling up the backwards. Every time I'm backstep, missing the liquor, I'm missing the draws again, a hell of pain. I got a lot to deal with and my mind is kinda slipping away. What's on the line? I made up my mind, some shit I'll just taste it great. Whatever it is, whatever it was, it's never gonna be the same. Folding again and I'm running the map. They say the best defense is just to attack. Hopping through too much, it's hard to attach. All this bone on is being hard to relax. Gotta get up, gotta get it again. They ain't get the message, we spinning again. I feel my back, I'm just leaving it in. Get what they want, then they leaving again. I cannot act like this ain't nothing new. Been getting smarter with all I've been through. Nowadays, I'm more rewarding than truth. Tired of keeping energy just to lose. Let it all out when I step in the booth. We're there for some months, now it's time to recruit. Read the investments, it's time to recoup. It's time to recoup, but how do I explain what's been going on with me? You say that I changed, but you didn't know the old me. I think that I saved you, tell me who gon' save me. I'm way too fucked up in this club, I'm ashamed, baby. You say that I changed, but you ain't really know me. When I'm around my dogs, girl, you just can't control me. Trying to spend my time right, using every second of it. Trying to spend my time right, using every second of it. Before it's too late, girl, before it's too late. Can I speak my mind right, girl, before it's too late. I've been moving backwards, rolling up the backwards. Every time I'm backstep, shawty, you know I gotta let it go sometimes. Gotta clear my head sometimes. I gotta get away some shawty. You know I just need a little peace of mind. Specifically, I'm talking about your mind. I gotta get that ass on. Calling you when I'm overseas, let me know what you need, what you wanna do when I'm home. Talking real dirty, real nasty on the phone. Girl, stop playing, I'm on the way. I am on the way. Girl, stop playing, I am on the way. What you need, what you wanna do, baby girl. I'm all ears for you, baby girl. Drop it down in the latest fashion. girl. Got the lyrics to my songs, he on cash in, girl. He that boy alone, we everlasting, girl. Everything he did, I don't pass him, girl. He know 20 grand, that says feel, girl. I bought a whole mall if you ask me, girl. Yo, shawty, you know I gotta let it go sometimes. Gotta clear my head sometimes. I gotta get away some, shawty. You know I just need a little peace of mind. Specifically, I'm talking about your mind. I gotta get that ass on.